What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another live. I am late, my bad. I don't even know how late I am, but I am late. I'm here though, okay? Without further ado, because we got a lot to cover today. This is a research live. For those who are not familiar, I'll go over all that in a minute. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. And we got to start this off right, okay? We got to, because this is a live. I don't know why I don't already have it pulled up, but hold on. Y'all know I was last minute deciding to go live, so give me a second, okay? All right, let's see if we can get this together. Yo, Hookah, what it do?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
Hey, I hope y'all having a good day. What it do, Nikki? Hold on, let me see who all in here. My bad, y'all. What it do, Nikki? Trav, what it do? Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hold on, y'all know I can't get right for shit, okay? I be trying to be prepared and then I don't be prepared. So give me 1 second. Let me see something here. All right, so a couple things before we actually get into it. Zaria, what to do? To the actual content for this live. Let's talk. Well, we're talking about YNW Melly, okay? I want everybody to understand on my research lives, I'm gonna stick to the topic at hand. Y'all know, okay, I get a little deterred sometimes, and I need this for research because of course I'm gonna do a video for those who don't like to sit for the live. Okay, what to do to Kendrick? So before we get into it though, I do want to talk about the civil case for the YNW trial. Well, the YNW case, basically the civil part of it. They did have a hearing, arbitration today. However, it was postponed due to all of the defendants in the civil case not being present. So give me 1 second. Let me pull that up first. Let's start there. All right, shout out to Bryson Boom Paul. I told y'all, make sure y'all go follow him on Twitter. He definitely keeps us updated as far as the in real time updates when it comes to YNW Melly case or trial, right? So it says within agreements of all parties, today's scheduled arbitration hearing in the wrongful death civil suit of YNW Juvie, represented by Mother Leandra Phillips and Sat Chaser, represented by Edward Holodeck, has been postponed until January 2024. Juvie / Phillips attorney John Phillips provides the update via Twitter. And it says, while representation appeared, YNW Melly, YNW Bortland, and Fredo Bain did not join the Zoom meeting. Okay? Let me see what else was on that. They even have a photo of the Zoom meeting. All right, so 100K track, Jamie King, whoever was on the iPhone, the attorney, and this says Tay. It kind of looks to me like YNW Taliban. However, I'm not 100% sure. That's just who it looked like to me. You know, I could be wrong. Okay. Now, as far as the attorney did tweet. And it says arbitration started, but the parties agreed to postpone until January. All parties required to appear and did not, and there are pending issues to resolve, including us amending to seek punitive damages. We were ready with a 140 plus slide presentation with hours of evidence and a very different take on the wrongful death of our client than what was shown in the criminal case, Justice for Juvie. Now that's interesting, okay? For those who's like, hey, the criminal case is what happened. It seems like that may not be the case, because even on the civil side, they got a different theory. For those who don't be catching the word theory, okay, I'm interested into knowing what's their theory or what's their take as far as on the civil side. So that's the update on the civil case. Y'all know I personally haven't been covering it like that. I don't want to pry into their personal lives like that, knowing how my mind works. So I try to stay away from civil cases unless it's like some, I don't even think I really did civil cases, to be honest. As far as for content, I think the last person I did was the football player, and it was because it was rape allegations. But other than that, I don't really dabble into civil cases. For those who don't know, Takeoff Family is currently in a civil case. I haven't even dabbled into that. So I try to stay away from the civil cases like that. However, okay, who knows what may happen in the future. But as of right now, that's just the update, because I know somebody's going to pop in and want to know that, because a lot of people are talking about it. Okay, so shout out to everybody that pulled up on a Monday night version of Triple Threat, okay? We had what was supposed to be a debate about the YNW Melly case, which turned into me and Music, the op, okay? Shout out to Music 101. Debate about who posts the victim and Takeoff case first. So yeah, we got sidetracked. However, one part that was apparent when we were having a conversation about the YNW Melly case is the testimony of Mr. Christopher Williams, who is the crime scene reconstructionist. Okay. Now, I was honest, okay? Y'all know, if y'all watched the trial with me, y'all know I took naps plenty of times throughout the trial, okay? So I need to watch this anyway so that I can do my video. So I said, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and do a research live for those who are able. They can pull up. We can talk about this in real time. And of course, I'll drop a shorter version video tomorrow. So with that being said, as y'all can see, we will be reviewing the testimony of Christopher Williams. And I'm just thinking about it. I definitely wasn't asleep the whole time with his testimony. We was too busy cracking jokes. I'm not even going to story, because the live is out. Y'all can go back and watch it. But nevertheless, And oh yes, thank you, Boredom. And before I get into the content, y'all already know I am currently running a virtual food drive and an in-person food drive for my local area, but virtually for those that's not in the Columbia, South Carolina, surrounding areas, to donate in honor of Dolph Day, which is this Friday, okay? You can send your donations to Mickey Truth 2022 on Cash App. Make sure in the subject line you put food drive. $1, okay? My rep for the Harvest Hope Food Bank, right, explained to me how it works. $1 can feed 4 families. $1. Now, I don't know how y'all done had it. I know back in the day when I was a kid, we definitely utilized the food banks, okay, around holiday times. And again, it is what it is. I wasn't born not to go through the struggle. But one thing for sure is having that as an option. So you never know what people are going through now. That's why I decided, instead of flying out to Memphis for Dolph Day, I decided just to, do community service in my own area and, in my own way to still honor the legacy of young Dolph. Okay. And no, I don't do his content. Thinking about starting, but nevertheless, I still want to do, what it is his foundation stands for. Okay. So again, doesn't have to be much. You can donate $1. Okay. $1 for families. When I read, I said, whoa, really? 4 families. Let me make sure that's what they said. Yeah, 4 families. Oh, excuse me, 4 meals for $1. My bad. 4 meals. I want to make sure I said it right. Okay. So again, long live Dolph. Anything will count. Look, y'all don't even have to donate to the channel. if y'all just want to donate to the food drive, I'm with it. It's running from now until Friday at 2 p.m. I will be providing all donations to the food bank. So again, thank y'all to everybody that's going to chip in. If you don't or can't chip in, just share the post. That's it. Share the flyer. Download it to your phone. Share it. Hey, get the word out there. Let's do this in honor of Young Dolph. Okay. Also, hold on. Let me see. So we did the Dolph Day. It got me in the spirit, right? When I was listening to Young Dolph's wife talk about it, and I went to listen. What to do, T? What you mean tap in on the ground? I don't even know who you are on the ground. One thing, I don't, if your name ain't that, I definitely, you might be in my request somewhere, but I got to know who you are on the ground. I be telling y'all my request folder is packed, okay? With business, trolls, everything. It's just packed right now. Oh, it got me to thinking, like, again, I definitely utilized food banks growing up, you know what I'm saying? So I got things like, you know, Thanksgiving coming up, and then you got Christmas. So Mickey Truth is gonna do a toy drive. I'm still in the early stages of getting it together. But yeah, we're gonna do a toy drive to give back. You know, I'm in a season of giving, okay? So definitely just wanna do that. Shout out to Loudpad. Loudpad come through. Okay. I needed some shirts done for the Dolph Day give back, because we're actually going to volunteer that day at the food bank, and I wanted to wear the shirt. So shout out to him for getting that done. But okay. I think that's enough segue, because I think this is like an hour long. Okay. Hour long. Just saying. Like, you dropped your IG in the comments. I don't be reading no comments, to be honest, like that. If you talking, especially if you talking about last night, I wasn't in the comments. I was on my regular screen, so I didn't get it. You got to follow me, okay? And like comment under a post or something. Listen, y'all gotta understand. I be having friendly trolls that try to like get me to follow them and stuff, just to troll me. So I don't really follow people like that. So you're gonna have to show and prove who you are. It's Mickey Truth 2022 on IG, Truth 22 Mickey on Twitter, Mickey Truth 2022 on TikTok. I need to do another one. I need to update. I think the only thing I changed was my YouTube, because my YouTube is no longer Mickey Truth 2022. So everything is Mickey Truth 2022. But yeah, now I ain't gonna say I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna have to check you out first. I think you just start popping up over here that I can recall. But yeah, just follow me. I'll keep a lookout. Yeah, because my settings on my account, once I follow, you can start tagging me and shit, and people be tagging me in the weirdest of the weird shit, like for real. I be having to turn it off, and sometimes be missing out when big blog sites be posting me, but it be aggravating, getting tagged and all types of spam and all types of weird stuff. But shout out to everybody for pulling up. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason I've been doing these midday lives. But anyway, I am on a time schedule today, so I do need to watch this, because I do need to get out of here by 5. Okay. So that gives me 3 hours, less than 3 hours, 2.5 a little bit, to review this, talk with y'all, talk it through, get it done. So without further ado, let's get into it. Where is it? I know I hadn't found the spot. Okay, here we go. All right.
You are Christopher Williams?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is our witness stand. When you come on in, just remain standing for a bit. Raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you should give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your full legal name for the record.
Christopher Williams,
Please spell your first and last name for the record.
CHRISTOPHERWILLIAMS.
Thank you so much.
Please have a seat. Wait that microphone in front of you. We'll adjust up or down, just move back and forth. All right, ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, you may.
Thank you. Good morning, Detective. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking. Could you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and tell them where you work?
I am now Sergeant Christopher Williams. I work for the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
Congratulations on your promotion. My apologies, Sergeant.
Thank you.
So, Sergeant, could you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what your current assignment is with the Broward Sheriff's Office?
I'm currently a sergeant assigned to the Road Patrol Division in the Pompano Beach District.
And how long have you been there?
1 month.
In terms of prior to going and becoming a sergeant on that promotion, what did you do for the Sheriff's Office?
Previous to that, I worked in the crime scene unit of the Sheriff's Office for 11 years.
When you worked in the crime scene unit, were you a sworn law enforcement officer?
Yes.
What were some of your job responsibilities and tasks as a crime scene detective?
So crime scene detective for the Broward Sheriff's Office, most of us are all sworn. We have 12 sworn law enforcement officers in there, 3 civilians. We respond to major crime scenes, rape, murder, homicide, suicide, suspicious death, police-involved shootings, and robberies with a crime scene and a victim. We also respond to shootings that happen with a victim as well. And we investigate. Those are the only things that we investigate. Anything less would be investigated by the victim.
Okay, so Sergeant, you mentioned that you work for the Broward Sheriff's Office. What jurisdictional boundaries do you do work for the Broward Sheriff's Office?
We have the entire county of Broward.
Do you assist other agencies on occasion?
We do. So we have naturally there's I believe 27 municipalities in the county of Broward. The sheriff has 17 contracts for police services for those for 17 of them. And there's some smaller municipalities that we have what's called an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, with Lighthouse Point, Hillsborough Mile, Hillsborough Beach, the smaller agencies who don't necessarily have as much crime, but when they do, the crime scene unit for the sheriff's office will go and assist them with it. On top of that, we will assist other agencies, such as Hallandale Beach. We have an MOU with them currently right now to investigate their homicides. We also will assist other agencies at the request of that agency or at the request of the state attorney's office.
So with regards to the 11 years in crime scene as a detective, what did you do before that for the Sheriff's Office?
Prior to that, I worked on road patrol in the city of Deerfield Beach. And prior to that, I worked in the jail for 2 years.
So in terms of your entire time at the Sheriff's Office, how many years do you have in?
I'm getting ready to start number 20.
Okay. Going on to specifically your training and experience in the crime scene unit. Do you take specialized training when you are brought into the crime scene unit as a detective?
Yes, so for the Broward Sheriff's Office, we start off our brand new detectives with 1,000 hours, which equals about 1 year of on-the-job training. We also have them attend multiple classes, medical examiner, death investigation classes, shooting classes, and bloodstain classes, and footwear and tire wear examination classes. And we also are all registered with the IAI, which is called the International Association of Identification. And we make sure that we're all certified within that unit.
So in terms of maintaining the IAI, or International Association of Identification certification, what's required?
So there,
Oh, y'all, this introduction, and I'm trying not to skip it because I don't want to miss nothing, but this introduction is just taking too long. And now I remember why my ass fell asleep during this, because it's just too much. Okay, I'm over here drinking my coffee. I'm already nodding like, the hell is going on? All right, I'm going to try to skip it just a little bit, though, at least past the introduction. Sheesh.
or a tree, whatever they crash into. And the same things are applied if they don't skid. So if they don't skid and
See, that's why I want to skip it.
the scene. And a lot of times the scenes are at night. So the nighttime photography becomes the challenge for most of our detectives as they come into our unit. So we have to be proficient in photography, proficient in investigations, make sure that, a suicide is really a suicide and not a homicide, and our hanging is really a hanging. So we're all taught how to investigate these things and recognize the differences between what is presented to us versus what it really is.
Okay, so I'm going to go back. You mentioned you spent a number of years on road patrol as well before becoming a crime scene detective. While you were on road patrol, did you have to deal with traffic crash reconstruction?
Yes. So in road patrol, I was fortunate enough, like I said, to work in the city of Deerfield Beach. They're a very good city for the sheriff's office. They support the deputies very well. Each city has what's called LETF funds, which is law enforcement trust funds. It's money seized from drug forfeitures, drug money, drug cars, stuff like that. And the city actually sets aside $25,000 a year at that time to send deputies to schools. I opted to take them up on that offer and attended multiple advanced traffic homicide investigation classes, basic traffic homicide investigation classes, traffic crash reconstruction classes at that expense, which I was very fortunate to do.
So after you took some of these traffic crash reconstruction classes, approximately how many of those reconstructions did you do while working on road patrol?
A lot. Probably every single crash that I investigated, I treated it I applied the training that I obtained just to maintain my proficiency in the training that I had on it. So whether it was a basic crash or a 5-car crash, it was all treated with the training that I had obtained.
Would that be more than 100 times you had the opportunity to use that training as a road patrol deputy?
Yes.
In terms of the actual reconstruction of a traffic crash, what types of principles are you relying upon when you're doing a recreation?
It is math. Essentially what it boils down to is math.
Hold on. Did he say he did car crashes? Was this his first murder reconstruction, or did he not say that yet? Because I'm trying to focus, but I kind of got. And then he said he had like a degree in math or something. I don't know how I feel about this one already, but I'm gonna keep letting him play. Y'all know I do have to stop it and talk throughout it. Smitty, what it do? Kimbella, Bronze, what's up, y'all? We are reviewing, for those who just joined in, we are reviewing the testimony of Christopher Williams, the crime scene reconstructionist, because that is the next part of my theory videos, if you want to call it. So I'm having to review it. So I went live so y'all can review it with me. So without further ado, because this is pretty long, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to it.
So you're obtaining measurements, and so for instance, on a traffic crash, you skid, you hit a car, and you come to a stop. So that you have measurements of the skid marks to obtain a speed, you have measurements of the crush damage from each vehicle, and you also have what's called coefficient of friction, which is the gripping, if you will, of the brake. So all of that requires trig, and it all gets put into a very long math equation to actually calculate the speed that the person was going when they crashed into the other car or wall or tree, whatever they crashed into. And the same things are applied if they don't skid. So if they don't skid and they crash right into a tree without even touching the brakes, that crush damage also gets applied to determine their speed.
So Detective, it sounds like you used a lot of that high school trigonometry and geometry that we learned.
Yes.
It's been a while, so I'm gonna have to ask you to go slow on some of that, if you don't mind, okay?
Okay.
With regards to shooting reconstruction, how does the traffic crash reconstruction help and make you a better shooting reconstructionist?
So it's the same principles that of math that are applied in the traffic crash reconstruction that would be applied in shooting reconstruction.
So going into specifically shooting reconstruction courses, have you taken a number of those while working as a crime scene detective?
I have.
And can you talk about the number of ones that you've taken?
I've taken West Virginia State University shooting reconstruction class and a shooting reconstruction class with the University of North Florida, the Institute of Police Technology and Management.
And in terms of the number of hours in shooting reconstruction courses on those two that you just discussed, approximately how many?
Approximately 80 hours.
Additionally, have you taken the basic traffic homicide investigation course?
Yes.
And you talked about traffic crash reconstruction courses. Have you taken other ones of those while you've been a crime scene detective?
For traffic crash?
Yes.
No.
Do you take a class in terms of death investigations?
Yes.
And what is that?
So death investigations is to determine what you're looking at when you see a deceased body. So I always like to say that the body is the biggest rat on the planet. It will, if you know what you're looking for, you'll be able to determine what happened.
So Sergeant, Sergeant, in terms of the time of arrival on scene, is crime scene there before the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
So when you are first looking and determining whether or not a death is suspicious, you're the first person looking at that body.
Correct.
So could you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that principles of death investigation class taught you briefly?
So it would teach us if we're dealing with an overdose, what to look for when we're dealing with an overdose. It would teach us if it's what to look for with, if there's gunshot wounds, what to look for if you have what looks to be nothing. You just have a body there and 23-year-old male who just died. Teaches us what to look for. So we're looking for petechia hemorrhaging, which is what you'll see.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. Y'all know, I tell you, I've been trying to stay focused on what he was saying, but hold on. On October 30th, 2023, the state filed a motion to strike all jurors for cause. Did the defense file one too? I don't think so. I think only. Yeah, I don't think they filed a motion to strike the jury. Yeah, it was the state that filed a motion to strike. For those who not paying attention to the chat, we was having a conversation about the motion to strike. And I think it was Kim Bella that asked, do I think it's valid or a tactic? And I say it's definitely a tactic. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not valid because, yes, I agree with the whole thing with the employee from the sheriff's office. Y'all know I went over all that on that live. But I do think it's still a tactic because it's still a way to get more time, although the judge didn't grant you any more time. It's a way to get more time because now, as it was pointed out, the trials will start in October. Then it went up to January. Now it's at February. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I know I said I wasn't saying it way, but we still talking about the same case. It just I needed a break from hearing that, but I'm about to go back to it because I do need to finish it. So here we go.
In the eyes, which are little blood vessels that are throughout your whole entire body, and if they are squeezed, if you have a particular squeeze, you'll see petechia imaging in the eyes. You'll see it on the bottom of the eyelids. You also see it in the chest quite often. In an area where there's trauma of strangulation, you'll see lots of petechia imaging. So that's just some of what we're looking for when we're making our determination on what actually happened with this, with the decedent.
During the death investigation course, does it give you a general idea of how to collect evidence on those cases?
Yes.
Do you also have training in specific crime scene investigations and collection of evidence?
Yes.
About how many hours?
Oh, that was 40 hours also.
And in terms of your day-to-day job when you are in crime scene, how much of your time was spent actually collecting, documenting, and preserving evidence?
So we are quite busy in Broward County. There's only 12 of us, and we have, like I said, 17 cities to serve, and our MOU cities. So roughly 1 or 2 a day.
So would that be half of your time?
Yes.
You talked a little bit about shooting reconstruction courses that you took. Can you tell ladies and gentlemen a little bit about what is an approach angle or an angle of entry?
An angle of entry would be from a projectile or a bullet into a target. So it's the flight path, if you will, as it's going in. That flight path would then once it makes its contact with its target, we would then be able to determine its angle of entry.
And is that similar to some of the things you do in the traffic crash reconstruction with approach angles of cars anywhere or another?
Yes, so approach angles would also apply to traffic crash investigations. It's a little different. It's the same math, but essentially, if you have a car that T-bones another car, one car is going 80 and the other car is going 40. What happens is due to physics and velocity, they end up switching speeds, and the 40-mile-an-hour car goes faster and the 80-mile-an-hour car goes slower. So those are our approach angles, and that's how we would be able to determine pre-crash speed and post-crash speed. So a lot of times you'll see that you'll have a higher speed from the original and a lower speed from the original, and it throws people off sometimes.
So does this also help with the shooting reconstruction? You're using that same angle math?
Yes.
Have you taken classes in blood stain pattern analysis?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is first?
So blood is a unique liquid. It contains, and it's unlike any liquid on the planet, so it has unique features when it is altered. So when it's outside of the body and contact is made with it, it will create a pattern. Or if you have, say, a knife and you stab it into somebody and you pull that knife out, the knife naturally will have blood on it. And that blood coming back on the knife, with the knife coming in the backwards position, will come off of the blade and it will make a stain. Or if you take blood and hit it with a hammer, it will make a different type of stain. So there's several types of stains that are associated with blood stain, and those all need to be interpreted to determine exactly what happened. And in some cases, it can tell you where the assailant was.
Okay. In terms of blood stain pattern analysis, how long was that class that you took?
40 hours.
Did they have a discussion about what is blowback?
Yes.
What is that?
All right, hold on. Let's talk about it. All right. I heard a lot of car crash and shooting comparisons. That's crazy to me, but you know, whatever. They also said that they use a flight path to determine the angle of entry. Also, he said, what was the last thing he just said? About the blood splatter. I'm not gonna get too deep into the blood splatter on the next video because, like I said, I'm taking a class for blood splatter. So I'm gonna wait until I finish my class, and then I'll talk more in depth about it. But I do hear I'm taking my notes on it though to see what he's saying. So, and y'all let me know if y'all got this too. What I got from what he's saying with the flight path or angle of entry, you can determine where the shooter was. Did y'all hear that? Or did y'all get that from what he just said? Let me write it down. Determine location of shooter. All right. Just want to write that down. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and continue.
So blowback is very simple. The easiest way that I can explain it is, and everybody in this courtroom, this has happened to them. You have your garden hose with the big nozzle on it, and you get ready to wash the car, and you hit the rim, and what happens? The water comes right back at you and hits you in the face. The same thing would happen with blowback. So if you're in close vicinity with a firearm and you shoot somebody, depending on where you shoot them at on their body, the blood will come back in that same direction of the velocity that it came from. So if it came from me to you, if the bullet went from me to you, the blood is going to come from you to me. Same thing as the garden hose theory. It's
all right. So, blowback. Basically, what I got from it in labor terms was a bullet comes out, it hits the object, it's gonna spill blood the way the bullet came from. That's what I took from it. Y'all let me know if that's what y'all took from it. I also just took from what he just said, based off of the scenario and the reconstruction of what this case is about, that whoever shot, right, the victim would have had blood on them. Okay. So, let me write that down. Shooter. So, and that's crazy because I actually, was thinking something, but it's still too early to say. But we're gonna say, based on that analysis from this person, I would assume that Bortland couldn't be the shooter, right? Because he don't have blood on him. Oh, but he do got blood on him. So I'm put a question mark next to that because maybe he gonna elaborate exactly what amount of blood would you have on you from blowback. So let me write that down. Man, I'm trying to keep up my notes, y'all. Like I got my little notebook over here because I know, but he put me to sleep the first time. So, all right. So let me write some questions next to this for me. So, in my opinion, right, if blood is on the shooter and the alleged shooter is Melly, my question would be, did they ever subpoena the clothes that Melly would have was seen in the video? Not saying, because again, if he did it and was covered in blood, I'm pretty sure he got rid of it. But did they ever subpoena the clothes? Let me write that. Subpoena the clothes. Did they ever do a search warrant on Melly's house? I know they did one on Track House, but did they ever search warrant Melly's house? All right. Oh, did they ever search warrant Fredo Bain's house? I just actually put Frito just now. All right, those are my questions. All right, let me see what y'all saying. So from what I gathered, boredom is that he said the blood goes towards the direction of where the bullet came from. If I'm correct on what I took from it. I did pause it, so probably when I go back, he might say it again. Right, did they find clothes, do a search warrant on the house they went to? Exactly. I don't know off the top of my head. I do remember the search warrant of Track's house. I don't know if they did other ones, but we're going to find out. All right. Oh, let me put a question mark next to Portland. What amount of blood will come back? All right. Never heard anything about the clothes. Okay. They didn't have anything to connect the murder to the house. Right. So, and that's a good point too, Boredom. So, in my mind, right, if the whole scenario is that let's go off the paperwork, let's go off trial. The state said Fredo Bain picked up Melly and took him back to his house. Everybody allegedly was harboring Melly at Fredo Bain's house, right? Remember, they even said Withers lied and said, he didn't know what Melly was, but he just had came back from Fredo Bain's house. They said Jamie King lied, said they don't know what Melly was, you know what I'm saying? So, again, if that's the theory for the state, why wasn't Fredo Bain house? Why didn't they submit a warrant? Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and act like if they actually had a warrant that Fredo Bain wouldn't have fought it. But if you get a warrant, hell, you would have had to fight it after because they would have been popping up to your house. Why wasn't his house ever searched? That I never thought about that question until now. I'm glad y'all kept bringing this guy up for me to listen to. But let's get back to it.
It's a phenomenon that happens. It's all with Newton. Newton figured it all out, and he was very right, and you can't ever escape it.
So with regards to that, if you shoot a dead body, do you have the same blowback pattern?
No, you will not.
Why not?
So a dead body does not have any circulation. So there's no blood flowing through the body. Post-mortem, once you're dead, what happens is we get what's called rigor mortis, which is also called lividity. And what that is cooling of the blood. So if you die on your back, almost immediately the blood starts to pool all the way to your back. So all the blood will just kind of, gravity brings it all the way down to your back. Eventually it will become fixed and it will stay there. So if we roll you over, it will not go back in that other direction. If it's not yet fixed, we can flip the body over and the blood will then flow the other way again.
Is that something that would help determine an approximate time of death?
Yes, so the lividity starts to kick in anywhere between 4 to 6 hours after death. It will become fixed approximately 18 hours after death. So generally, when we come in contact with a body, we will check for lividity. And a lot of times, if you I could probably show on my hand.
Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. Lividity, 4 to 6 hours after death. What did he say? He said 18 hours or something. I'm gonna have to go back a little bit, y'all, because I was trying to follow what he was saying for my notes. Let me go back a little.
One car's going 80 and the other car's going 40. What
Damn, I
happens
went back
is
too far.
Due to physics and velocity, they end up switching speeds, and the 40-mile-an-hour car goes faster, and the 80-mile-an-hour car goes slower.
My bad, y'all.
So
Let
those
it
are
play
part
out.
of approaching those, and that's how we would be able to determine pre-crash speed and post-crash speed. So a lot of times you'll see that you'll have a higher speed from the original and a lower speed from the original, and it throws people off sometimes.
So does this also help with the shooting reconstruction? You're using that same angle map?
Yes.
Have you taken classes in blood stain pattern analysis?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is first?
So blood is a unique liquid. It contains, and it's unlike any liquid on the planet. So it has unique features when it is altered. So when it's outside of the body and contact is made with it, it will create a pattern. Or if you have, say, a knife and you stab it into somebody and you pull that knife out, the knife has naturally a lot of blood on it, and that blood coming back on the knife, with the knife coming in the backwards position, will come off of the blade, and it will make a stain. Or if you take blood and hit it with a hammer, it will make a different type of stain. So there's several types of stains that are associated with blood stain, and those all need to be interpreted to determine exactly what happened. And in some cases, it can tell you where the assailant was.
Okay. In terms of blood stain pattern analysis, how long was that class that you took?
40 hours.
Did they have a discussion about what is blowback?
Yes.
What is that?
So blowback is very simple. The easiest way that I can explain it is, and everybody in this courtroom, this has happened to them. You have your garden hose with the big nozzle on it, and you're getting ready to wash the car. You hit the rim, and what happens? The water comes right back at you and hits you in the face. The same thing would happen with blowback. So if you're in close vicinity with a firearm and you shoot somebody, depending on where you shoot them at on their body, the blood will come back in that same direction of the velocity that it came from. So if it came from me to you, if the bullet went from me to you, the blood is going to come from you to me. Same thing as the garden hose theory. It's a phenomenon that happens.
So he said it depends on where did he say it depends on where the shot hit the body for the blowback? Because now I'm a little confused on that part. Somebody give me what they understood with the blowback. Is he saying that depending on where the bullet actually hits the body will determine if it's going to be blowback? And if it is blowback, that means the blood is going to go the direction of where the bullet came from. Y'all let me know if that's what y'all got from it or whatnot.
All with Newton. Newton figured it all out, and he was very right, and you can't ever escape it.
So with regards to that, if you shoot a dead body, do you have the same blowback pattern?
No, you will not.
Why not?
So a dead body, it does not have any circulation. So there's no blood flowing through the body. Post-mortem, once you're dead, what happens is we get what's called lighter mortis, which is also called lividity. And what that is pooling of the blood. So if you die on your back,
my bad, y'all. When I'm only on my laptop, it'd be weird trying to get back for it. Listen, cool breeze, what it do? Because while he was talking, right, I was over. Hold on, y'all. All right, while he was talking, because I ain't gonna sit here and act like I know all these medical terms, okay? Legal terms, I might can make something shake, but medical terms, nah. So give me a second. I had Googled this word, and what he is explaining wasn't what popped up. So y'all let me know if I got any medical people that know this better. Let me know. All right. So if I just Google it, it says lividity refers to the bluish purple discoloration. Let me run that back. Lividity refers to the bluish purple discoloration of skin after death. Okay. So then it says liver mortis is the fourth. Is a settling of blood in a lower air dependent. So is that what he means? Because I was confused just now because he was like, they both mean the pooling of the blood. But I'm assuming it meant the color. Maybe it is something. Maybe. Look, somebody in the medical field, if you in the chat, let me know. Because that kind of came out like, huh? But again, now, I'll sit here and can tell y'all legal shit all day, the law, but I don't know medical like that. I'm learning. So y'all let me know. Is that what that meant? Or you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him finish.
And almost immediately the blood starts to pool all the way to your back. So all the blood will just kind of, gravity brings it all the way down to your back. Eventually it will become fixed and it will stay there. So if we roll you over, it will not go back in that other direction. If it's not yet fixed, we can flip the body over and the blood will then flow the other way again.
Is that something that would help determine an approximate time of death?
Yes, so the lividity starts to kick in anywhere between 4 to 6 hours after death. It will become fixed approximately 18 hours after death. So generally when we come in contact with a body, we will check for lividity. And a lot of times, I could probably show on my hand.
Hold on, pause. All right. Yeah, y'all, I ain't no medical expert. I'm just trying to understand this, okay? Okay. I mean, it's hard to even really like try to grasp it because they timeline already off, but I'm gonna do my best, okay? I'm gonna do my best, y'all. Let me give me a clean sheet of paper real quick. I want to have it done so he get to talking about it something already written. Oh shit, somebody paperwork just hit my email. I just got an FOA back. I don't know who it is though. All right. So if the bodies arrived at the hospital, y'all do this along with me too. Y'all gonna need pen and paper though for sure. Okay, at 4:35 a.m. arrive at hospital. All right. According to my notes, Okay. Lividity kicks in 4 to 6 hours after death. So it will be between 8:35 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. will be the lividity part. So I guess what is it? Livera mortis. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but y'all know which one I'm talking about. The fourth stage of death. What it do, Philly? All right. So 4:35, arrive at hospital, DOA, although the ME said they died at the hospital, but DOA. According to Detective Moretti deposition, well, no, not deposition, Detective Moretti original probable cause warrant and what Bradley said at Bortman's Arthur hearing, I'm gonna just do a time frame. Cause remember, they don't even got the same time. So between 4 a.m. to 4:03 a.m. is when the drive-by occurred. The stage, because y'all be running with that. Stage drive-by, okay? And according to the ME, right, they were deceased at that point when the bullets from the stage drive-by, so deceased. So that's actually going to play a little bit of difference in the situation with the liver mortis, because that's going to take the time. It's going to be cut about 20 minutes or so, but it's still going to be a little after 10, you know? All right, so hold on. Yeah. All right. I think that's the timeline so far. All right, I'm going to go back to it. Anything I missed, y'all put it in the chat.
If you touch and then let go, you see that my hand was red because there's blood there, and then I push and it's white, but it then refills with blood. With lividity, that's called blanching. So it's not, when lividity blanches, that means that lividity is not fixed. Remember I told you that it will become permanent. So if we touch the lividity portion of a body and it doesn't blanch, then we know that the lividity is fixed and we know an approximate time of death.
In terms of the goal of a crime scene detective or reconstruction, what are you trying to work backwards to?
Can you restate that?
Sure. Do you know when you go there and see a body, what happened before?
Not right away.
So what is your goal in any sort of crime scene reconstruction?
To read the crime scene. So I want to read what the crime scene is.
Hold on. I just learned something. I could have sworn, I guess I was wrong. I thought that's what the damn coroner people was for. So you mean to tell me CSI be examining bodies? I did not know that. Y'all knew that? Oh, I did not know that. So, oh yeah, he definitely, this isn't time to shine, okay? So I never knew that. CSI processes bodies. Did y'all get that from what he just said? Because that's what I got for what he was saying. What they were saying just now. I didn't fucking know that though. I always thought they did the crime scene. Like they take pictures of where the body is. I didn't know they actually be processing the body though. That's different.
Telling me the crime scene is going to, it sounds corny, but it's going to talk.
But I could have sworn they can't touch. I thought they couldn't touch the bodies. No, I don't watch no CSI. Never got into the CSI. Never got it. So on CSI, I might need to watch it now. So CSI Miami, they show like touching the bodies. That's wild. So the crime scene being contaminated. Ain't that some shit? Yeah, I learn something new every day. For real, every day.
Talk to me. It's going to tell me what happened, where it happened. It's not going to necessarily tell me why. I'm not interested in why, but I am interested in what happened, where it happened, and what evidence was left behind due to the actions of what happened.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the crime scene photography you do as well, and the crime scene reconstruction of a shooting incident. Do you also have training just in homicide investigation and advanced homicide investigations?
I do.
And what types of timeframes and hours on those?
For homicide investigation was a 40-hour class, and advanced homicide investigation was another 40-hour class.
So Sergeant Williams, with her
y'all do understand this guy training is like a work week. Yeah, y'all hearing it, right? Because he said I'm taking a 40-hour class. So basically you went through a week-long training. That's crazy. To touch bodies. So, okay, hold on, because I'm getting mixed signals in the chat. Can they touch the bodies or not? Or do they just take the pictures and look at the pictures to determine, like, the outside, what they see? Because I need to understand that. Because right now I'm like, the fuck? Like, how do you touch a body with no medical freaking degree? So y'all let me know. Can they touch the bodies, or do they only take the pictures and then observe the pictures for like outside? Or do they just look at the bodies and be like, oh, okay. Now I seen that on First 48. The detectives may look at the body, but they don't even touch the bodies on First 48 until the coroner people get there. So I wonder, is that what he mean? Like they like just like, you know, glance at the body, like, okay, I see some leaves on that person's hair or something like that. Y'all let me know, because I look, medical shit got me beat for the show.
In regards to your on-the-job experience, do you have training and experience putting those skills that you learned into practice?
Yes.
Approximately how many death investigations did you go to during your 11 years in crime scene?
Approximately 800.
In terms of as a crime scene traffic homicide crash, did you go to incidents in which the vehicle was the weapon?
Yes.
And how many times was that an issue?
Twice.
And in terms of the shooting reconstructions, how many times have you had the opportunity to use those skills in practice?
So those skills and practices, I would say well over 100. Any time that a shooting reconstruction can be done, it will be done. And it's important. Our job in crime scene is to figure out what happened, corroborate stories, and if the evidence is going to corroborate somebody's story. So it's that's, if it can be reconstructed, then naturally we're going to reconstruct it.
And in terms of prior opportunities to testify in court as a shooting reconstruction.
I don't know. Did he say the evidence gonna match somebody's story? The hell? Oh, Jesus. Let's see. They're supposed to determine what happened at the scene, but they're not supposed to touch anything until they photograph and document everything. Because I'm sitting here thinking about the black lady. I think her name was Detective. She was with the FBI, Detective, something with a C. I can't remember. But she was like, they don't touch nothing. They just take pictures. Like they had the hospital staff unclothe the victim. So I'm like, if they can't touch him, you know what I'm saying? Like the hell. And then I'm still tripping over that he's a traffic crime scene person. But hey, you know, we are gonna get into the defense motion, why they wanted him stricken, but that's gonna be after we listen to his testimony. Okay. It does. All right, I ain't gonna lie, it's cringing. I'm trying to look. I'm over here trying my best to stay focused. That's why I started taking my notes, which I'm running out of paper before I start it. I need me a new notebook. Because I got one notebook. Oh, I did just do a new notebook. Hold on, let me find that notebook. They go through class to teach them all what. Oh yeah, he said he done went through a week-long class for each certification. He said that. Hell, I'm in a class right now. Blood splatter. So yeah. But I gotta be in there longer than a week. Lucky fuck. Okay. But yeah, I'm doing one right now. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to set up my give me a second before I start playing the thing again. Trying to set up my area. No, they did not. They did not take photos of the victims in the car. And I got a question about that. I need my people, I guess, from Florida, Broward County, preferably Broward County. Because I was talking to my local coroner's office, right? And I was told, okay, that if the decedents are DOA, well, this is my area, okay? In my area. If they are DOA, they are supposed to be left where they are until the actual medical examiner get there. They supposed to just block off the scene, put the tarp up or whatnot, and do that. Now, I ain't never had nobody that I knew personally that ever got taken to the hospital like that. I have seen and witnessed people dead in the street, and they will leave a dead body in the street for hours and hours until the coroner can get there. So I do wonder that, because again, the coroner in this case, both of them said they did not do any life-saving anything to the victims because they was DOA. Although the coroner said they died at the hospital, okay? But according to the state, they were DOA before even arriving at the stage drive-by. So I'm kind of wondering, why did they take them out of the car? And I think the families may have like a lawsuit against that hospital. I don't think they're supposed to. I'm gonna research that. Let me put that in my notes, because I always thought that was strange that they took them out that car. And like you said, no pictures of the bodies in the car. You know, to be honest, they're going, from what I'm understanding, they're going off of the video showing them removed from the car. Now I do have a question. Do they show, right? Do they show actually where everybody was, like, where the victims were? Like, do they have video? Of course, they ain't show us. But do they have video showing that victim 1 was indeed taken out the front seat? And that's just really a question. I'm not going with no theory with that. I'm just asking. Do they have actual video? Victim 1 was in the front seat. Victim 2 was in the back. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But I'm about to play it. I got my area set up. Got my area together now.
Reconstruction expert. Have you done it?
Yes.
Approximately how many times?
2 other times.
And what jurisdiction was that?
Here in Broward County.
Going in terms of when you're doing these shooting reconstructions, what are your first step in this process?
The first step is, so if in a car, in a house, or just in general?
Yes.
Okay. So the first step obviously is to say we have a house. First step is to process our scene and collect as much evidence as we can before we do any type of reconstruction. So we want to document as much as possible, collect as much as possible, because low cards theory for crime scene is you introduce something to a crime scene every time you enter, and you take something away from a crime scene every time you exit.
Hold on, pause. All right. Now, I'm going to say this, okay? I would think they have outside cameras for sure. Now, maybe they didn't have the angle, though, that was facing the car. Not 100% sure. But this is my question to what he just said. If we are talking about you are an expert witness in a double homicide case where you, again, this witness is going to eventually say, right, that they were shot by somebody inside the car. Why are you talking about a house though? Like, and I feel like the defense should have objected to saying relevancy to a house. Like, if anything, if you're an expert in shooting reconstructions and all this, you need to tell me the process of processing a car scene. Why is we talking about a house? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like, what the world? Like, that's crazy. Were they not deceased before getting to the hospital? Well, according to the coroner, when she did her testimony on the stand, I keep saying coroner, but medical examiner, when she gave her testimony at trial 1, she said they died at the hospital. Now, again, I don't know, maybe she misspoke or whatever, but according to the state's theory, okay, and technically according to just science, being that they are saying it was no hemorrhaging at the bullet sites of the stage drive-by, they would have been dead before they hit the hospital. So, again, maybe the coroner misspoke. I said that when I reacted to it. I don't know. Maybe she misspoke, but, you know. Yeah, no, they did nothing. Nothing. The coroner said that. What is her name? Somebody, I think it was Investigator Collins, the black FBI crime scene person. She said no. Everybody said no. Now, what I thought was strange was them undressing and redressing the victims. That was strange, because why is all these people coming in taking all these pictures and you messing with a body before the coroner even come? Like, strange, but we're gonna keep going.
So therefore, we want to maintain low card and stay in, document, collect, process the scene before we do any type of reconstruction.
So, Sergeant, is a shooting reconstruction an absolute fact of what happened, or a reasonable explanation?
It's a reasonable explanation.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't there. I wasn't there to witness it. I wasn't there to stop it. So there's no way for me to be absolute.
Hell no. I gotta go back because I missed what he said before that started. Let me go back.
Process.
The first step is, so if in a car, in a house, or just in general?
Yes.
Okay. So the first step obviously is to say we have a house. First step is to process our scene and collect as much evidence as we can before we do any type of reconstruction. So we want to document as much as possible, collect as much as possible, because low cards theory for crime scene is you introduce something to a crime scene every time you enter, and you take something away from a crime scene every time you exit. So therefore, we want to maintain low card and stay in, document, collect, process the scene before we do any type of reconstruction.
So Sergeant, is a shooting reconstruction an absolute fact of what happened or a reasonable explanation?
It's a reasonable explanation.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't there. I wasn't there to witness it. I wasn't there to stop it. So there's no way for me to.
All right. Shout out to everybody that pulled up last night on live. What was his name? All gas, no brakes said this man word was law. He just sat here and said this is not a factual situation. He's saying it's a reasonable explanation. Now, my question is, why did the defense didn't have somebody get their ass up there with a reasonable explanation? I don't know. But that right there, a reasonable explanation. Now, starting off, it was talks of math equations and all that. But a reasonable explanation. Hell, I'm giving a reasonable explanation on a lot of shit, technically. But a reasonable explanation. What does reasonable explanation mean to y'all? Cause maybe my mind ain't grasping. Cause when somebody say a reasonable explanation, matter of fact, let me give them. And y'all know I suck at examples, but I'm trying to get better. Okay, at doing these examples. I have a flat tire. A reasonable explanation could have been I rolled over a nail. Right? That's a reasonable explanation to why I got a flat tire. But the fact is somebody cut my damn tire. That's why it's flat. You know what I'm saying? So that right there alone, right? Saying a reasonable explanation. Oh, I think that's a good. I think I did good on that example. What y'all think? Y'all think that was a good example? I think that was a good example. I'm gonna say it again for those who ain't heard me. Reasonable explanation versus fact, right? My tire is flat. A reasonable explanation could be I rolled over a nail, right? But the fact is someone actually cut my tire. It's actual cuts in my tire. So that means somebody cut it, right? That's versus. So in my opinion, right, reasonable explanation from what I'm taking that we about to listen to is a possibility. A possibility. Now, this is, and again, shout out to everybody, that was on the live, even all gas, no brakes. But see, people be missing when I be like, let's debate about the case. It be about the facts, not reasonable explanations. Now, again, I will say the defense fucked up, okay? Because although the judge denied their motion to not utilize his testimony, they should have had their counter version of him to do their reasonable explanation. And that's weird that they didn't do that. They should have had a detective, Chris Williams, on their side to go up there and do it. Because if that's all it is, a reasonable explanation, that's some shit. Hey, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth, man. We are breaking down the testimony of Christopher Williams, detective of crime scene investigations during the time of the murders. And we just, breaking down like we always do. So y'all make sure y'all jump in the chat, run it up, comment. We just heard point blank. Everything that we're about to hear from this point on is a reasonable explanation when it comes to Christopher Williams. Not everybody that was saying he was fact. Because I'm telling y'all, in my opinion, the reason why I know a lot of y'all say the reason why Melly did got a mistrial was because of a paid juror. I see the comments. The reason why he would have been convicted is because of this testimony right here. Everybody that comes in my comments that goes against, okay, my theories or whatever, or the facts how I'm seeing it, they always bring up things that he has said. This is the case right here. Christopher Williams, the Reconstructionist. That's the case. And why they didn't freaking chime in on him, now again, we still got to go. And I believe I watched the defense cross-examine him. And I think that's what we was joking about on my live that day. They didn't do well at getting in there. And that's probably why his ass ain't on the case no more. But yeah, this is their case. This is what's going to give the jury, okay, the visual to the theory. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, let's use my theory, right? My drug deal theory. I said it, everybody thought, hell no, right? Me and Music, shout out Music 101, we dropped the mini video, then people like, oh shit. It's different when you see it brought to life, right? You know, when you see it brought to life. So this is the case. This witness right here is the case. People don't care that he just said it's a reasonable explanation. They're just going to see him show and prove. And yes, I have already went through and I got some counters for it. But once we get there, we'll get there. Okay. I think the defense is objecting to a lot of things because it would be throwing the driver under the bus. Hey, listen. I'm not going to say too much because we actually... Triple Threat is working on a project, so I'm not going to say too much, but listen, this is the thing. At this point, if y'all have read, okay, the Arthur Heron transcripts, if you are a member of my Patreon, you should already have it. If you are not, go over there and tap in and become a member. Or for those who like to actually go get it yourself, it's on Broward County. Either one, right? Melly was thrown under the bus by the state. They literally says the co-defendant is the shooter. So, I mean, at this point, right, again, they're saying that it's impossible. It's impossible for Bortman to be the shooter. So they can say and attack all this shit. It still is not going to shed light on Bortman because they're still saying it's the person sitting in the left seat, right? So, you know, I don't think that's a good enough reason not to go after it, right? I'm just saying. Yeah, it's just something ain't right, okay? So do you know what they're doing with people without no bread? Oh shit, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say what no boredom. I almost was like, what the fuck is boredom talking about? But yeah, for real. I love this shit crazy. Like, I don't know. I think I ain't gonna say that because people are ruin that shit. I'm glad I thought about what I was about to say. But let's get back into it, y'all. Y'all continue to run it up in the chat.
The absolute, I can be pretty close still.
Okay, so talking, you said, on low carb and not introducing anything new to the crime scene. What types of measures do you take to make sure you don't leave any evidence of your entry into the crime scene behind?
So we'll generally don tie-back suits, which if you've ever watched Forensic Files or anything, you see us in the goofy Smurf suits, gloves, masks, eyewear. And the whole purpose of that is we don't want our hair in there. We don't want our DNA in there. We don't want our fingerprints in there. And of course, our sweat. We want to try to gather as much evidence from us and contain it in the Smurf suit.
Okay, in terms of, you said you weren't there. Can you ever state with 100% certainty, absent a video, how a firearm was being held?
No.
Can you ever say with 100% certainty?
All right, pause. Right there now. And did he ever even, are we still on step one? Because they said steps in the process, and all I got is one step. All right. No certainty, okay, on how firearm held. I actually got a little presentation I'm going to show later on in regards to holding the firearm. All right, let's continue.
Exactly how many feet a shooter was away from a moving target?
A standard or a standing shooter to a moving target?
Yes.
No.
What about the opposite? You have a moving shooter and a stationary target.
No.
Why not?
Ho. Not able to give distance between target and shooter. Mm-hmm. Is that what he just said? He said not able to give. Let me listen.
Because, excuse me, I'm sorry.
If you need water or anything, please let me know.
Let me see what y'all was saying. They're dragged his testimony to the guys. He's the only one that looked confident while testifying. They're uncertain about everything. The state is just using the possibilities of the best of their ability. He said no quietly. Kubrick said he's not there to prove who shot them. His job was to discredit the drive-by and where the shots were coming from and explain the blood splatter in the car. You said he's not there to prove who shot him. Well, technically he is, because the whole theory, but we're going to get to the whole theory of his testimony is that the shooter was sitting in the left back seat. His entire testimony, he pretty much didn't confirm. Yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? He's saying a lot, but at the same time, again, I'm not sure why a Reconstructionist is testified. If anything, because then they have a ballistic expert and stuff, like his whole testimony is going against a lot of other witnesses. But again, this is here, right? This is the case. It's giving a visual of the theory. Y'all didn't catch it. I said it, but a lot of y'all didn't catch it. That was the reason, right? I did a visual for the drug deal theory. When I said it, it didn't catch. When I showed it, it was like, oh shit, that's possible. Not everybody thought that the same way. Not everybody think this reconstruction is accurate. But again, you see the difference? That's why this witness was so important to the case, because he gives life to the situation, to the jury, if that makes sense, respectfully.
So the movement of these items is going to create false distances because the target has the receiving end of the bullet, the projectile, has moved. So if the receiving end of the projectile is stationary, then we can do a complete reconstruction.
So if there's movement involved, that complicates it.
Yes.
Are you trying to make and determine locations potentially to look for evidence?
I'm sorry?
In doing a shooting reconstruction, are you trying to look for areas in which evidence might be collected?
I would, if I'm doing a reconstruction for one of my scenes, I would have all the evidence collected prior to that. If it's
Hold on. He just talked about false distances and said the target moved and Kubrick said he don't know who was in the back seat. He don't care who's in the back seat. He's just there to say where the shot was coming from. Maybe y'all not getting what I'm saying. No, he never said that Melly was in the back seat. What I'm saying is this. He is stating, right? And we haven't really gotten into it yet. He is stating, okay, the person, no matter who the person is, the person sitting in the back seat is the shooter. How can you say that when it's a reasonable explanation, not a fact? That's my point. Hopefully that cleared up where I was coming from with it. But he's gonna get more into it, and then we can kind of go back and forth about it once he gets there. Let me go ahead and start playing it.
In a car, sometimes I can't find a projectile. When I begin my reconstruction, my trajectory rod will generally lead me to a projectile. And when it does, then we come to a grinding halt, grab the camera, photograph what we found, and collect what we found, and then continue.
All right, so he said his trajectory rod would normally lead him to a projectile. All right, from my understanding, it was a projectile under the front side pedal, because the lady said she found that it was a projectile in a bag, in the white bag. And it was one more. Where was the other one? I gotta wait till hopefully he says, because I don't forgot where the other one is.
Continue on with our reconstruction.
So Sergeant Williams, to explain to the ladies of the jury, if you have one projectile mark in the wall behind you, and you're trying to figure out where in this courtroom you would look for casings or surveillance footage, is that something shooting reconstruction would help with?
It would help with, it would definitely help. But we could also, if it perforated the wall, then we can do a reconstruction. And perforation is all the way through. Penetration, it goes in and it stays.
And in terms of, so we're clear on that, can you do a reconstruction on a penetrating gunshot defect?
No.
What about a perforating one?
Perforating, yes.
Why?
Because we have a second hole. So if we only have one hole, the projectile did not complete its flight path because it was stopped. So because it did not complete the flight path, I cannot tell you the angle or the trajectory that it came in at. But if it perforates it and creates an additional hole, now it has completed a flight path. Even if it goes into a third or fourth target, the initial first and second hole is that actual flight path or trajectory of that projectile.
And in terms of, you talked about like secondary targets, intervening targets, is that something you've done training and experience in looking at when you're doing a shooting reconstruction?
Yes.
For example, glass. Does that have specific properties that you would look for deflection?
So glass, so tempered glass, which is what is in every vehicle, mainly because if you're driving down the road and so a rock comes off the truck and it hits your windshield, you don't want it to shard and stab you in the eye as you're driving down the road. So all of the glass inside an automobile is tempered glass, which means that it goes into little tiny pieces. It also has a piece of plastic or clear plastic in the middle. It's actually two pieces of glass with a piece of plastic in the middle, which keeps it intact. But the tempered glass will create some type of movement to a projectile. Generally, it will cause, depending on the spin of the projectile, so as some barrels of a gun are going to rotate the projectile to the right, and some will rotate it to the left, and some will not rotate it at all. Generally, they're all rotated to the right, so when the projectile enters into the tempered glass, the projectile will tend to go to the right. It won't necessarily alter the trajectory, it's just turning it.
Okay, so this is things that have been documented and studied in the field of shooting reconstruction.
Yes.
In terms of other materials, sheet metal, wood, or these other items that you would look at and determine whether they
This is about the most repetitive as trial. Now looking back, this is so competitive. They had a glass expert talk about the glass. Now old buddy talking about the glass. They had a firearm expert, but now old buddy talking about the barrel of a gun that they don't have. And it's like, it's just dragging out. Like, I'm trying to get to the actual, what he does for, like what he does. Yes, I understand all the glass and stuff is important, but I guess because I never thought the drive-by was for real. Like, I mean, that shit was self-explanatory. But yes, they definitely had to process the scene to prove that or whatnot, right? However, with this witness, I would have thought he would have been more into the actual death, not death, I would say death shots, the actual, what's the word? Kill shot or the deadly shot. Like, I thought that would be more so his testimony. I know he's gonna get into it, but it's just taking forever for him to get there. Okay.
they were involved before you go forth and render an opinion on shooting reconstruction.
Yes.
So going back into, I want to make sure it's clear, how does the discipline of shooting reconstruction differ from firearms and tool marks?
So firearms and tool marks deals with the identification of the internal workings of a firearm and the cartridge cases of the that come out of the firearm and the projectiles that come out of the firearm. They deal with that part, where I will deal with the ballistics part of it, of shooting reconstruction.
So when you say ballistics, do you mean inside the gun or outside the gun?
Outside of the gun.
In terms of, can you define what is a terminal ballistics?
Terminal ballistics is the projectile has stopped, and where it stopped is considered terminal.
In terms of this specific case, did you make any promises as to the outcome of your investigation before it started?
No.
What did you say when you were contacted to look at this case?
I said that I'll take a look at it and we'll see what I come up with.
And do you have any sort of fixed determination when you look at any shooting reconstruction?
No.
Do you recall at what point you were first contacted to assist in this case?
I believe it was November of 2020.
Okay, with regards to that, who contacted you?
You, ma'am.
Okay. What were you asked to look at and analyze in this case?
I was asked to determine if this shooting incident was a drive-by shooting.
So if there was any other forensic testing that could be done, would you suggest that as well?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
If you could just briefly, were you asked to consult at all with regards to cell phones?
No.
Any sort of location data or anything with regards to the location of an individual?
Location data, no. Location of an individual, yes.
And that's within the car?
Correct.
In terms of, were you asked to consult on any sort of medical examiner's office findings?
Their findings, I obviously their findings are final, but I needed their photographs and their measurements that they conducted. So I did reach out to obtain their reports.
Way to do, Aaliyah. You know what's crazy? That he says that if the coroner couldn't even tell you the measurements of distance and all that. What measurements did they need? Because the coroner couldn't even, she testified. I keep saying coroner, I tell y'all that's what we call them here, but medical examiner said that she couldn't tell you how far the barrel of the gun was from the body. She couldn't tell you none of that. So what measurements did he get from the actual coroner report? Was it how wide the holes was or something? Like, I wonder what he gonna say.
Send their photographs.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the physical evidence that you reviewed. Did you review the car in question in this case?
Yes.
Where was that car being held and stored?
That car is being held at the Broward Sheriff's Office Compensation Warehouse.
And if you could explain briefly to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that warehouse looks like on the inside.
It is basically a gigantic warehouse that stores cars that are involved in crime.
In terms of, in this warehouse, are the cars sealed individually in each location?
Yes.
What types of materials are used to prevent cross-contamination from the various cars?
All of the cars are closed. They are sealed with red evidence tape. If windows are missing, plastic goes over them so that nothing can get into the car. The plastic would assume the role of windows so that nothing can get inside.
In terms of the security of that building, is anyone allowed to kind of go into that building?
Absolutely not.
When you are doing an analysis of this Jeep, this car in this case, how do you do that?
So in this case, I actually had that the vehicle in question towed from the confiscation warehouse to the crime scene unit, which has a forensic processing garage. And from there, I began my investigation on the vehicle.
The forensic processing garage, where is that located?
What floor are we on? Four floors down.
And can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how the forensic processing garage is outfitted?
So it's outfitted actually.
All right, let's clarify something. So listen, the ME said she could not determine distance. They would have to do the test. However, since they didn't do the test, it's a textbook, meaning a range that they can use, right? Which is 3 inches to 3 feet. Okay, it's on $ Mickey Truth 2022, Aaliyah. Thank you, appreciate it. It's in the chat too. But so I want everybody to understand that, and I said it before, but again, it's textbook answer. You know how, and I'm on a roll with my example. Let me see if I can do a good example. You know how, like, you start not feeling well, your throat sore, you're coughing, your nose running. You go to the doctor. What's gonna be the textbook diagnosis that they're gonna say? You got a viral infection. You got a cold, right? Automatic. They're gonna say you got a cold. Now, when you get to say, no, it's not just no cold. My throat hurt real bad. I can't even swallow. Then they may do a test. Oh, you got strep throat. But the textbook answer for a runny nose, well, post-COVID really, but anyway, a runny nose, a cough, stuff like that is a cold, a viral infection. That's a textbook answer. So when they say 3 inches to 3 feet, that is not a fact. It's just the standard answer that can be used, just like I said with the example of a cold. And again, this goes back to the defense. I don't know why they didn't have their own version of this person, but anyway, if the theory is the person was sitting in the back seat, right, and you do your measurements and it say 2 feet, right? Then guess what? They can say that because it goes with what they're trying to say and it fits the textbook answer. But if they actually did the test to determine the actual distance and it was 3.2 feet, then guess what? Their theory won't work. So again, this is my opinion why they didn't do the test. Now, mind you, they didn't do the test at all for none of them. So the standard answer that they're using is 3 inches to 3 feet. Okay, hopefully that helps y'all understand that a little bit. I might go get my food, so I might play this real quick.
It has a car lift in it so that we can lift the car in the air, look underneath, see if there's anything in there. There's a plasma cutter in there. There's torches in there. Every tool that you can think of that you would find in a mechanic shop plus more is available in that garage.
All right, hold on. You're getting GSR and burn patterns mixed up together. GSR is particles that burn patterns is from actual fire that comes out the gun. It got to be close to even burning. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and solve this while we're on this. Give me a second. Let me just use my own video. I got to pull up the live. Oh, that's a 6-hour live. Sheesh. Hold on. Let me kind of skip through it. All right, so y'all, we're gonna segue real quick into the coroner's testimony real quick to make sure everybody understands, or because I've been saying the same sentence I just said. I don't want nobody to think it's incorrect, or if it is incorrect, we'll find out. But if y'all was on this live, y'all already recall it, but I'm gonna play a little bit of it because I don't even remember exactly what part of her testimony it was stated, but let's talk about it. Thank you, Aaliyah. Appreciate the cash out. That's a good question. I don't know. Let's see if she answers that. But that is a good question. Let me see here. Yo, oh, you know they knew they could probably get the drug.
Have a toxicology lab.
Just with that alone so far, okay? Give me a second, y'all. Like, well, okay. I'm trying to find the part. Was getting in that side, and it was on. I'm having.
In terms of the different
colors
and things.
Medical examiner will say the caliber. Okay, so she should.
As they are. Once we're satisfied with those photographs, then we will clean them.
She ain't no telling what the hell that part is.
Did you cut his hair?
Supreme Court.
This is where they're shot 15, 20, 25 times, and every single
shit, it's going on. That's a 6-hour live. Hold up. I ain't got 6 hours to give. Give me a second. Cause I don't know. And who was that? Cool Breeze. If you're saying I'm getting it mixed up, gunshot residue doesn't have a 3 inch to 3 feet too. So, but nevertheless, I'm in my showing receipts at this moment. So let's just find it. Shit, what are my notes from that live? Hold up. Wasn't it intermittent? Yeah, who remember? Wasn't it intermittent? I think that's what it was. I'm not looking at the screen. I think it is intermittent. Or is it intermediate? I think it's intermediate. All right. Yeah, it's intermediate. So let me share this real quick. All right, intermediate wounds are formed when the muzzle is held away from the body at the time of discharge, but is still sufficiently close enough that the powder grains from the muzzle can strike the skin and produce powder tattooing, which gets its name from the blackening of the skin around the entrance site caused from the shot. So let me see to make sure what was the go back. So the thing was, you're getting GSR and burn patterns mixed up. GSR is particles that burn patterns is from the actual fire that comes out. The gun ain't gotta be that close to even burn you. Now I'm confused. Why is Cooper's? Are you still in like? Why does I didn't even say burn patterns? He mentioned stipple. See, now I want to see. I should have just skipped over your comment because now I don't even know why you said it to what I said. So let me rephrase what I said. I said the 3 inches to 3 feet is the textbook answer for this wound when they don't do the actual test. Am I missing something? I was really trying to understand what Cool Breeze was saying I'm getting something mixed up. So I just want to make sure. Because I didn't even mention GSR. And GSR has nothing to do with 3 inches and 3 feet. I'm going to keep going. I don't know. But y'all, for those, pause. I forgot I did the other video. But I did do a shorter video to this. Hold up. Let's see. A, right? According to page 12 of Dr. to the back of the seat, where or how far? I think it was when the other lady was talking. Okay. Yeah. Right? However, to determine the exact, more precise range, you will need to do testing. If you do not do testing, then you can use the textbook answer, which is 3 inches to 3 feet, meaning you could use for your reconstruction or your theory anywhere in between 3 inches to 3 feet. Okay. All right. I thought I heard it correctly. But like I said, y'all can go read her deposition. And y'all can just go listen back to the testimony. That live was 6 hours. I am not about to even go back through. I'm barely making it through listening to this testimonial. Okay. So hopefully that answer clears up the confusion. I think I might have worded it wrong. What I'm saying is a gun gotta be in that range to even get that type of mark. I mean, got to be, and see, this is the thing I think a lot of people are missing. They don't have a gun to do the testing to factually, without a doubt, say that. So, like, to say it gotta be in that range, that's not enough, to be honest. That's just not enough. Now, it's enough when you don't have a defense that's countering it for sure. Now, again, saying 3 inches to 3 feet, not saying that they're going to come up with something over 3 feet. What I'm saying is this, right? If the theory only needed 2 feet, right? They good. They can say 2 feet. However, what if in reality, if they would have did the actual testing, it really shows 1 feet? You get what I'm saying? So that's the pro and con with utilizing, you know what I'm saying, the actual test. No, they didn't test nobody clothes. Nobody clothes got tested at all. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this so I can go get my food out of the microwave. It's still beeping.
Okay. In terms of you mentioned you reviewed some of the medical examiner's information and photographs. What other things did you review in this case?
I reviewed the crime scene photos that were taken by the Miramar Police Department.
And those were provided to you and the medical examiner's office. Any other photos or any other documentation that you reviewed from the Miramar Police Department?
I reviewed the crime scene unit report from Mr. Kelly.
With regards to the trajectory analysis that was done by the Miramar Police Department, did you review those photographs?
Yes.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen during what was the issue with the string.
So the Miramar Police Department used string with a putty, and they attached the string to the beginning of the projectile hole on the back of the seat of this vehicle. And then they took that string and they brought it back to a big ruler. However, the string...
Sorry, let me interrupt you for just a second. With regards to their attempt to recreate the back glass, what was the purpose of that?
I believe, to determine some type of trajectory.
Is that something that would be useful in this case?
The trajectory would be useful, yes.
But what about trying to recreate that back windshield and the heights that a specific projectile would come in?
Yes.
And with the, going forward, you were mentioning, talking about the strings, were they taut in a straight line?
No, the strings actually were sagging, which can cause inaccurate readings.
So in terms of that was the specific issue you took with their trajectory analysis.
Correct.
In terms of the trajectory rods that were placed through the car by the Miramar Police Department, were there any issues or concerns that you could see from the photographs?
Not with the rods.
So in terms of the data that you relied upon, the physical car, how did you process that?
So I actually, once the car got into our garage, I photographed it in place. And then I put on my smurf suit and I actually sat in the car.
Okay, in terms of, you said you photographed it. Prior to coming into court today, did you have an opportunity to review the photographs that you took in this case?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna show you what's been previously shown to defense counsel and marked for identification as states quadruple D. Detective Williams, do you recognize this flash drive?
Yes.
How do you recognize that flash drive?
Those are my initials and ID.
Did you have the opportunity to look at the photos on the drive before you came to court?
Yes.
Did they fairly and accurately depict your involvement and role in this investigation?
Yes, they do.
Here at this time, state would request to move state quadruple D in as state 77.
The objection. No objection, principal. I just need to know the date that was related to.
All of them,
The date.
all the dates. All the photos are on one listing.
Okay. All right, no objection. It'll be admitted.
States quadruple D will be marked state 77.
Okay. So detective, I'm going to start with publishing these, and you took a number of photographs.
Yes.
So I want to start and do them in order by time. So,
All right, y'all. So I'm about to eat my food real quick because y'all know I'm doing my food drive and I got to be to the pickup location at 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna let this play with the photos, and then like I said, I got a little theory I'm gonna share, but it's gonna be after I eat my food, okay? But I'm here, okay? But I might be quiet for a second.
So I'm going to start here. You mentioned the blue Smurf suit. So I'm going to start with what's been labeled as CSW 6747. Is this the Smurf suit you were talking about?
Yes,
And is that you in that photograph?
absolutely not.
Step into Wix Studio, the new web creation platform built for.
I won't tell him you said that. So I want to go forward here to 6762. Can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at in this photo?
So this is inside our processing garage. This is the vehicle in question, and these are trajectory rods that have been inserted into the vehicle to terminal points.
What is the purpose of putting in these trajectory rods and photographing them?
The purpose of putting them in is, number one, to create a trajectory. Number two, the picture is for demonstrative purposes to show where the projectiles, how the projectiles entered into the vehicle. They don't necessarily, just where the ends of the projectiles are, do not necessarily reflect where a shooter was standing. However, they just reflect where the trajectory or the angle into the vehicle is.
Okay, so we talked about angles, so I want to make sure that we can understand that. Are you taking angle measurements from these trajectory rods?
So what I'm doing is I'm creating a right triangle with geometry with these trajectory rods in order to obtain an angle. Some people will use a protractor to do that. However,
Wait, it's been a while since geometry. Explain what a protractor is, please.
So the protractor is always flat on one end and it has a half moon on the other. May I stand?
Please, if you would, yes.
So if you use a protractor, and obviously a vehicle is angled, it's aerodynamic, so some of it comes out like this, some cars like that. If you use a protractor, and obviously a protractor has to be flat, you're going to get an incorrect angle. So I use geometry to create a right triangle, which would then give me the actual angle of each sight mark.
So Sergeant, are you telling me that you use the Pythagorean theorem in your day-to-day work?
Yes.
I think I owe an apology to my high school geometry. Okay, so talking about that, is that a squared plus b squared equals c squared?
Yes.
And what does that tell you?
That tells me an angle. So obviously you have, it has to equal 180 degrees. We start off always at 90, and then we would work our way to determining that angle.
Are you looking at more than one angle on each of these particular entrance defects?
There are different angles for each sight mark.
Are you looking at the vertical angle?
These are all going to be horizontal angles.
Okay, and when you say, when using...
I'm sorry, vertical angles, yes.
And so we're using a poster board and a knitting needle help demonstrate the different types of angles that you're measuring on that.
A knitting angle, needle?
That's what I had.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Here, let's say it would be using a demonstrative exhibit here.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, the witness is using a demonstrative exhibit to assist in explaining and illustrating his testimony. The testimony, the evidence is the testimony of the witness. The demonstratives, unless they are later received in evidence, are not in evidence and do not go back to the jury room during your deliberations.
Okay, so joint counsel has been marked as A, B, and C. So you need to move on. Face it out. So starting with what this demonstrative is on strike mark A. If you to illustrate, you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you would insert a trajectory rod if you were trying to do the trajectory of strike mark A, and we're going to hold it at a 90-degree angle.
So naturally, just to put a disclaimer here, this is only one hole. So I would need a second hole to complete this. However, you would start with the inserting the trajectory rod, and you would follow. You don't just shove it in. You actually gently follow the flight path of the projectile until it reaches terminal, and then you stop.
So if you could explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when you're looking at the vertical angle, what part of it are you measuring?
So I would measure from the ground to the actual strike mark. That would be a measurement that I would need. The ground to the tip of the rod, and then the length of the rod that is sticking out from the projectile hole. That all gets put into fancy math, and it produces an angle.
And so the angle that you are measuring, if you could just show with your finger what angle you're trying to figure out.
Trying to get the trajectory angle, the flight path of the projectile.
So is that side to side or top to bottom?
That's going to be from top to bottom.
Okay. So that on strike mark A, does this illustrate a practically 90 degree?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to strike mark B here. Would you use the same math on this particular type of trajectory entrance or exit?
Yes.
Okay, and so when you're talking about the vertical angle here, what area are you looking at measuring?
The same one. So we'll go from the ground to the strike mark, the ground to the tip of the rod, and then from the strike mark entry to the end of the rod for the length of the rod.
And in terms of the side to side angle, or azimuth as it's sometimes referred to, is this again at a 90 degrees to the side of this piece of poster board?
Yes.
Moving on to strike mark C. How would you do the same trajectory analysis on strike mark C?
Strike mark C would be very similar with we would want to know that the entrance or the ground to the strike mark, the ground to the tip of the rod, but then we would have to
All right, I'll pause real quick. I hope I ain't miss a lot, because I had, man, y'all, when I say, quote, leftovers never tasted so good to just now. But quick think, I was scrolling through my comments on my regular videos, right? And it is believed, a lot of people think that Melly told the drive-by theory also. So just to clarify, Melly never spoke to police, okay? Bortland provided the drive-by theory. That's it. He's the only one who provided that story, okay? Just to let you know, okay? Also, I want everybody to keep in mind, as this witness stated, okay, this is a reasonable explanation to what may have occurred at the shooting. That's the whole point of the reconstruction. Now, let's keep in mind, this is a sworn police officer, Detective or Sergeant Christopher Williams is a sworn police officer that's part of the sheriff's office. And did he say Broward County or remember one of them? But anyway, doing a reconstruction for their case. Okay, not saying he's doing nothing wrong. Just saying, you gotta keep that in mind. Okay. I don't understand why he did not use a gun with the projectiles. I saw Alex Murdaugh trial, and they did the same thing with projectiles, but they used the gun. Well, they actually had the gun, if I'm not mistaken, in the Murdaugh murders. So that's the difference. See, this case, they have no gun. They have a witness who didn't even testify at trial that is stating they found the bloody gun, but they have no gun at all. No weapon. They can't even tell you how many weapons were used. But as far as this witness here, again, this is not for shit show calculation. This is, and he said it, reasonable explanation. He has no certainty on how the firearms are held. He's not able to give the distance between the target and the shooter. That's what he said early on. What else he said? He said sometimes there are false distances the target can move. He's going to get into that in a minute too. I think that's all I got from that part. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue. All right, so and then listen to this, y'all. Let me see what time is it. 4:35. Hopefully we can get to the nitty gritty of his testimony. If not, it's cool. I probably will fast forward to where they're starting to actual show the pictures because I do want to do something on this live before I get off because y'all know I got to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play.
Get a horizontal distance and use the I'm trying to remember off my head. The side of the wall to the tip of the rod.
So you're then getting the azimuth or the entry angle on
Correct.
side to side.
Correct.
Okay. In terms of the
I'm gonna be real, y'all. Some of these experts don't. I mean, just regular. I ain't even talking about this particular case. Just in general. That's like a teacher. If a teacher do too much stuttering or too much uncertainty, I swear I'm not gonna want to listen to what you're saying, man. So like when I be seeing these experts stumbling, I get you can lose thought because damn, I know I do all the time. But I ain't an expert. I don't claim to be an expert, okay? But what I'm saying is sometimes that I be like, no, if he really know what he's talking about. I'm just saying.
And everything else, you're making the same right triangle every time.
Yes.
Because again, how do we know he ain't telling? See, this would be my thing too with the expert. How do you actually know that what he's saying is true? Let's just use, again, I'm trying to get better with my examples, but let's use this example on YouTube. Okay, we're all on YouTube. I know a lot of YouTubers that make that shit sound so good and be cap as shit, but it sounds good. Their presentation is great. It's just that, right? And then you may get somebody, like, I don't know. It's just, for one, my thoughts on this witness it really stopped at the reasonable explanation, but,
So what you're doing with these trajectory rods, is this repeatable?
Yes.
Can someone come back and check your work?
Yes.
And in terms of the
I'm about to
projectile,
because like I said, I never thought that it was no drive-by. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip that part. I'm ready to get into the inside part. Okay. All right, boom. I think I found it. Let me go back just a little bit. All right, I'm starting. Not the gunshots. The hell.
So all the black plastic's been removed?
Correct. So that was removed for a footwear examination that was done on the vehicle.
There's some gray substance here. Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what happens to blood after it sits for 5 years?
Blood begins to break down after time, and actually it has bacteria, or if you will, as organisms that begin to break it down. DNA is in there, obviously, so it actually begins to eat itself, if you will, and that's essentially what is left behind.
And so going forward now through the photographs, I want to get to some of the ones with the individuals in the Tyvek Smurf suits. Starting here on 4851, what are you documenting in this particular image?
This is a photograph of the rear compartment or the back seat of the Jeep Compass, and it has a tape measure in it, and it's documenting the inside width of the vehicle.
Okay. And what was the inside width at shoulder height of the vehicle?
51 inches.
Why do you measure and document all of these measurements on the Jeep?
Well, this is a unique case because you have a shooting incident that occurred inside a vehicle. And because it did, we can use these measurements to determine particular investigative leads, such as where a shooter could be and a distance of the end of the barrel of the firearm. So because it's a compartmentalized area, unlike being out in the open field where we have so many variables, the variables are severely limited because it's inside a compartmentalized area.
And so we'll get into why you can make that determination in just a little bit. I want to start in terms of the angles of impact for each of the strike marks on the outside of the car and on the back of the rear passenger seats. Did you do the angles of impact on each of those?
Yes.
Okay. So after the measurements in terms of the seats as well, here, what are you documenting in this photo, CSW 4855?
That would be the distance from the back seat back, if you will, where you put your back, to the back of the front seat.
And what was that distance?
Okay, so I know they might get to it, but a question I have, they're talking about measurements. I do recall the motion being granted for them to get the measurements of not only Bortland, but of Melly. So I wonder, right, if they are going to compare his measurements to the measurements they took in the car for this theory, and if the person that's going to be sitting in that seat is the same measurements as Melly. Those are my questions. Y'all let me know in the chat.
It's determined to be
39 inches.
And what are you showing in this photo?
That would be the other end of the tape measure.
So I want to go here on the ceiling, S1 with the arrow pointed to a cutout. Was that also related to a patent or a footwear impression?
Yes, so that cutout, prior to that cutout in the headliner, there was a footwear impression on the headliner that was examined.
Like a shoe impression? The hell did they have a shoe impression? Jeez.
Okay, in terms of this measurement here, what are you showing the distance from?
Showing the distance from the from the driver's side, rear passenger seat back to the passenger front seat, front of the
Is that the headrest?
headrest, yeah.
Okay. And then do you determine that measurement as well to the bottom of the seat?
Yes,
Okay. And what was that measurement?
39 inches.
And on the previous measurement, it was a similar?
39 inches.
So in terms of going forward in the reconstruction process, once you have put in all the trajectory rods and gotten the angles, what's the next step that you need to do?
From here, I continued my analysis of the vehicle. Because of the fact that I found the two projectiles, I wanted to ensure that and examine the vehicle further.
Okay, so I'm gonna show defense counsel what's been marked as states quadruple E for identification purposes only. Do you recognize the exhibits in states quadruple E?
I do.
And how do you recognize those?
That is my handwriting. I did.
What are they?
These are two projectiles that were recovered from the vehicle.
And are those the two that we viewed previously in the photographs?
We've only reviewed one in the photograph.
Just the one in the back, and then the other one you mentioned was recovered from what location?
From the driver's side, passenger side B pillar
And
interior.
show in this photo that's up here, and you can touch the screen in front of you as well, and it will.
Hold on. I won't let it play out. Maybe I missed something. I might have missed something.
Put a little arrow as to where is the passenger side B pillar. Okay. And are those projectiles in the same or substantially same condition as when you recovered them?
Can I open them?
Please. Okay, scissors to be found.
They are.
At this time, the state would request to move state quadruple E in as 78.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be admitted.
They too quiet on the witness that they don't even want to testify. That's crazy.
States quadruple.
I would have had to pee. That man have been drinking
States number
coffee the whole
70.
time.
So you mentioned that you did some additional searching on the car once you realized that there was other projectiles in there. Did you
Correct.
find any other items of evidentiary value?
I did.
And what would that be?
I observed what appeared to be blowback on the headliner of the vehicle.
And so if you could explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, where is the headliner on the vehicle?
It is above your head as you're seating in the car. It actually just is there for cosmetic.
Hold on. Yeah, I was eating candy. He said it was blowback. Where? I'm gonna play. Hopefully he's again. He said a headliner, right?
Aesthetic purposes, so you don't see your roof.
So showing defense counsel what's been previously identified as stage triple T. Sergeant, do you recognize state what's been marked by identification as stage triple T?
I do.
How do you recognize that?
This is my handwriting, my name. It is sealed with red evidence tape with my initials and ID.
And what is that item?
This would be the headliner with the blowback on it that I cut out.
And do you recall on what date you cut that out?
That was cut out on December, may I just look over?
Or does it reflect on the packaging?
Oh yes, 12/17 of 21.
And is that in the same, essentially the same condition as when you recovered it?
Mayor?
Hold on. 21. All right. Why it took that long? But listen, y'all remember we was talking about blowback earlier. Is the headliner the roof basically, like the roof, the ceiling of the car? Because before I go down this way, let me make sure I understand where it's at. It's the ceiling of the car, right? Earlier he said blowback basically hits an object, and depending on where the shot hits the object, blood will come back in the direction of the shot, right? Let me see what he about to say next. Ooh, that was a warhead. So they is sour.
Gloves there if you need them.
My bad, y'all.
Yes, it is, minus the testing that I did, a cutting, and a cutting that the lab did.
Here at this time, the state would request to move state triple T in as state 79.
Any objection?
No, sir.
It will be admitted.
And Detective, I'm going to ask you to publish this particular item to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
States triple T has been marked state 79.
I got to hear this explanation because if I understand correctly, what he said originally, that means the shot came from the ceiling. If what he said that it blows back to the direction of the shot, but I'm gonna let him talk this out because I don't know. Not him walking it through. It's showing spots, right?
And Detective, if you could hold it up and show the back of it as well, and then indicate which part went to the front of the vehicle.
Do you have the picture of the headliner?
Sure. No, sorry.
Don't spend hours or days of your life aimlessly scrolling through a catalog of mediocre.
This photo help in assisting you in the location?
And I object to the leading nature of.
Oh, now you want to
Assist
object,
you?
sir.
Call the rule.
Yes.
Oh.
It would be,
Hold on. I know they ain't got to this picture yet, but is this why everybody is saying Victim 1 was asleep? Because of how this person is laying over? Is that where that's coming from? Who's... I'm gonna see if that's what he says, because this was coming from people that was in the comments. Let's see.
so if the vehicle is facing this way, it would be this way.
Okay, and just show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the back of it so that it understands. Okay. And in terms of what are you looking at on that piece of headline, or what does it show?
So it shows blood, and it also shows the directionality of the blood.
Okay. And if you could show on the picture that's in front of you on the screen what your area of the car you're talking about.
Is it okay to put this away?
Please, yes.
John, maybe put that back on the shirt.
Who said that, Kimbella? The coroner didn't say that, though. So who said that? Him? The witness that's on their own? Well, I guess if they doing a reasonable explanation, maybe. However, like I was showing y'all when I did the corner video, it's possible if he was asleep, maybe he had his head back. I don't think he was leaned over though. But if I was going with the theory the state was doing, it makes sense. I'm still working on that video. I told you I'm reconstructing the inside events. So it's just taking some time because it's got to be like, yeah. But so according to he never touched the body. She used a report from the coroner and like pictures. He doesn't have any, like he didn't touch the bodies. That's what I got from it anyway. Are they still on? Yeah, they're having a sidebar at this moment. Y'all know they stay with sidebars. I don't know, because if he about to say, that Blowback is on the ceiling, that don't make sense of what he said at the beginning, from my understanding. What it do, Tiffany? Yeah, look, you came at the end because I'm about to get ready to get up off here in a minute. In like 30 minutes, I got to be somewhere at 6. Y'all make sure y'all donate, man, to my charity event that I'm doing. Donate in non-perishable food items to Harvest Hope Food Bank in honor of Dolph Day this Friday. Y'all can hit the Cash App, Mickey Truth 2022. In the subject line, put food drive. $1 is 4 meals. Okay. So yeah, tap in. Appreciate it. Let me see if they back.
In terms of the location and the pattern, what does that tell you about the orientation of the front seat passenger's head at the time of the shooting?
The front seat passenger's head was actually down, almost as if he was sleeping. So it was down, leaning on the right, at an angle. So it was his.
All right, again, y'all, this is my opinion. Okay. I'm still taking some of these classes that the dude took, but I ain't no medical person. Okay, so maybe somebody, and I'm still working on my blood splatter class. So I don't want to really get into the blood splatter. However, okay, so let me see something. So maybe I'm about to answer my own question. So if this is true, right? The victim was laying like that. Is the theory that the blowback is why this blood right here? Is that the theory? Let me see. I wonder if that's about to be the theory. Let me see.
His head was at an angle as he was seated in that front seat.
Would a demonstrative of the head help illustrate that point?
Sure.
I'm showing, previously shown to the defense counsel and used by the witness yesterday labeled as BMEO 18-3118 by Dr. McDougall.
Sure. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the witness will be using a demonstrative to assist in explaining or illustrating his testimony. Just remember that testimony of the witness is the evidence. These demonstrative aids are not to be considered as evidence unless they're later received in evidence. Only items of evidence go back with you during deliberations for your further examination.
So Sergeant Williams, Dr. McDougall indicated on that particular head that entrance and exit wounds on that. Is that consistent with your review of the autopsy photographs and crime scene photographs in this case?
It is.
And based on your analysis of this vehicle, did you find any projectiles anywhere in the headliner?
No.
Did you find any projectiles in the top portion of the B pillar on the passenger side?
No.
What about the A pillar?
No.
Was there any projectiles in the front windshield?
No.
Based on your training and experience, can you state where the exit wound of that head had to have gone through? Where that projectile would have had to have exited that vehicle?
It would have exited through the front passenger window.
How can you say that?
Number one, there's no glass there. However, most importantly is the projectile entered in the back of his skull. And
now y'all watch how he's holding the head. He's the playhead. He's holding it to fit his theory of the head being tilted. Okay. If we pull up the pictures from the medical examiner, you see she's holding the head straight up as she's pointing out. Her findings was it came through the left side and went out the top right of the head, holding it straight up. But if we go back to Detective Williams, he's holding it to fit his theory. If that don't tell you all this is based on how you make it fit your theory, I don't know what else to tell you.
Exited through the front of his skull with his head at a resting angle.
Yeah.
So
this is his opinion.
Can I get up?
Please, that help and assist you.
So this resting angle and this.
Now, mind you, this is the thing, and I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, Mickey, I don't care. But listen, the medical doctor says she cannot determine what position the victim was in. So you mean to tell me you can take a 40-hour training class and be able to determine what a medical doctor couldn't determine with the body of, and you never even seen the body in person? Come on now. I mean, let's take away who is on trial. This is a regular trial. That don't make sense. How can this guy looking at paperwork from somebody else's findings tilt the victim's head when the medical examiner couldn't even say if the head was tilted? Come on. And the defense is saying nothing. That's what's tripping me out.
Seat. You have the projectile coming in, exiting through the top of the skull and then continuing through the windshield.
And another thing, this is why I'm like, what the defense got going on? Because in my opinion, they should have had somebody there to do the same thing, but with the victim sitting up. Because again, let me tell you how like tedious this is, to be honest. It could go either way, just depending on how you want to put it together. If the victim was sitting up, that angle could have still happened. Blowback would have still came on that seat and the bullet would have still went out the window. But the only difference is the victim was sitting up. Now that's something.
Or, sorry, the window.
Can you say that it was at the top of the window or the bottom of the window, the middle of the window?
I cannot.
So based on that projectile and the blowback.
So it's fair game. The medical examiner can't tell you where. The glass experts they had just was telling you the damn glass came from the car. He can't tell you where it hit. So again, it's fair game. What's the only fact of this is the victim was shot in the left back of his neck and it came out the right top of his head. Okay. The angle of his head obviously can be debatable because again, the medical examiner, and I'm just going off of if I was on the jury looking at her, she held the head sitting up. Although she testified that she cannot say what position the victim was in. Then you have Detective Williams over here that is tilting the head to fit his position of the victim at the time. Now, I'm gonna be honest. As a prosecutor, I see the play. Okay? What's more defenseless than an innocent victim than a sleeping innocent victim? You know what I'm saying? So I see it, but at the same time, there's no way they can determine that victim was asleep or that victim was really took to the side when he was shot. Now, I do agree that he ain't see it coming, victim one for sure. I feel like he was sitting up looking forward, and that's when he was shot. I don't think he saw it coming, but at the same time, I definitely don't think he was leaned over to the side that way. And then if you looked at the picture when they had the person in that seat, they looked it uncomfortable. Now I don't know the victims at all, but from the videos and stuff of them, seemed like he was pretty tall. I'm just not feeling that theory.
Well, you can make what opinions?
So based on the angle of this this projectile, the blowback is indicative of a firearm being in close vicinity of the head. The head is something that bleeds.
So now he's saying the blowback is determining the close range. Because again, they never did a distance test, okay? So now he's saying the blowback, okay, is determining how close. Now earlier, because remember I wrote it down and I said it when he said it, it says, he said that blowback, depending on where the shot hits the object, will have the blood come towards where the shot came from. That's what he said. So I don't know what y'all think about that.
Profusely when it's pierced. If you've ever fallen on stairs or hit your head, it bleeds like no tomorrow. And because the projectile entered in right below the skull, the blowback ended up coming in the direction of, as I was speaking earlier about the hose, in the direction that it came from. And you will get that with a very close shot. That blowback then proceeded after the shot. It went up, it hit this headliner and continued and falling into the back seat.
That even more leading me to think. Well, give me a breakdown, Boredom, because this is the thing. If we pay attention to the notes on the witness tampering case, they pointed out a good point. If the shell casing was fired in that car at that time, it would have burnt or had some type of marking on that bag. It did not. He just drew a whole diagram stating that it would have went up, okay, to the roof and came back down and dropped on that bag. After seeing that notebook, how is that possible? If now I even gave my own personal example. I go to the gun range all the time. Y'all know this, okay? I done had a damn shell casing pop back on my ass, and it do be hot. So why didn't it burn the plastic bag? And then it leads me to think this. Okay, like again, this is my opinion. I believe no matter what, it's going to be up for the opinion as far as whoever they put on the stand for trial too, whether the victim was to the side or sitting up. I feel like the blowback would still be the same either way the position of the head is. However, what's more plausible for the state case is saying that that projectile went up, hit the ceiling, and hit the floor. Now, my question is, I know they stated it was a couple blood droppings on the ceiling, but was it a burnt mark or anything saying that a hot piece of, lead actually hit it, or metal, whatever it's made of, okay? That's my question there. Because now, again, the state, and for those who be like, oh, you be reaching, this is the state. The state put out that document that has the photos of the notebook. You know what? I'm gonna do a testing for y'all. I'm gonna do a testing. I'm gonna do a testing with the shell casing and the plastic bag, and then I'm gonna record it, and then I'm gonna post it. Okay, so I'm gonna test it out. If indeed, because like I told y'all, I do have a 40 caliber, so I'm gonna use a 40 caliber. I'm gonna shoot it. Okay, I'm gonna let it drop in the plastic bag, and I'm gonna see what it does. Okay, so we're gonna put a pin in that. Let me write that down, make sure I remember. We're gonna put a pin in it, and I'm gonna let y'all know how that goes. Okay. Would there have been blood on that bullet and tested? I think the bullet and car was there beforehand. According to the notes, it was or could have been. I don't know. Did they test for blood? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure of that. Let's see if they mention it.
And so I want to go to some of the other photos. There's a yellow jacket that's on the very back of the vehicle. Is it important to know whose DNA and blood was found on that?
What yellow jacket?
Let me come back to that, the other photos.
Okay, what yellow jacket?
Okay, so in terms of the location.
Now, why the defense ain't saying that? Like, what yellow, that man, like, what yellow jacket you talking about, ma'am? She's like, we'll come back to it.
The firearm that fired the shot. And we were just talking about in CSW 6745. Does this attempt to accurately recreate the potential location of that firearm?
So the purpose of this photograph is strictly demonstrative to show where once the projectile enters into the head, you're going to have the blowback, which again will come up, strike the headliner, and then continue. It's actually continuing this way and landing back here behind the driver in this area of the vehicle.
That made no sense. Well, it's a yellow jacket in the trunk of that car. That made no sense. Now, his original, definition of blowback is when the blood comes back towards where the shot came from. But now he's talking about the freaking projectile as the blowback. Which one is it? Is the blowback the blood coming back or the projectile? Or am I missing something? Y'all let me know in the chat, because at this point, obviously I wasn't paying attention to him the first time because he ain't adding up.
In terms of the driver and the t-shirt that he was wearing, do you take into account the location of the victim's DNA on his shirt?
Well, based upon the blowback pattern up here, I would expect to find some blowback here if on a driver, if a driver was there.
So would you expect to find the DNA of Anthony Williams on the front of the door?
I'm confused as fuck. Okay, so now he said the blowback was when the blood come back towards the shot. Now he's talking about it's all the way up here. This is all blowback. That's all blowback. So now you can't say for sure the shot came from back there if you saying the blowback is all up there in the ceiling and all in the front seat. You're saying that it came from the left side. Or am I tripping? We got to talk about this part before I move on, because I'm over here scratching my head. Is that what he's saying? Let me see. I'm actually Googling what the hell blowback mean, because maybe he was tripping. Now I need to check to see. I swear he said it was the blood. I swear he said that. I'm reading it real quick. So blowback don't have nothing to do with blood. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure of it. So when I Google it, y'all, I'm about to have to phone a friend in a minute. Now this is Wikipedia, of course, but blowback system. Well, blowback is a system of operation for self-loading firearms that obtains energy from the motion of the cartridge case as it is pushed to the rear by expanding gas created by ignition of the propellant charge. So I feel now the point where he's talking about the cartridge, right? But his definition, yeah, I agree. His definition wasn't right. It has nothing to do with blood. That's crazy. Now, again, we know nothing. I'm going to say we, because even me, okay? We know nothing about this shit. We're learning, okay, from him. Because like I said with the medical examiner, we learned what the different gunshot wounds was for her. I ain't knew nothing about that. So, like, right now, I ain't know nothing about no blowback. I literally have in my notes, blowback, hit something and comes back. Blood, hold on, hit something and comes back. Blood will go in the direction of the shot, depending on where the shot hits. Did Melly get it if it went to the back seat? Well, they're saying the one that was found in that bag, that's why I told you I was going to do the test, is indeed the blowback from whatever. At this point, I don't know what he was talking about. So the bullet went up to, that's what they're saying. So now, well, the projectile. So they're saying the projectile went, fuck, how can I explain it? They're saying the projectile went up to the ceiling and came down and dropped into that white bag. Did he testify before her? I don't know. Let me see what day court this is. I think she testified on, yeah, he testified the next day. She testified on day 9. He testified on day 10. Hold on. Let me see something. Everything on Google is saying so I see something here that says back spatter. Back spatter. Maybe that's where he got confused and was thinking he was. Damn, I hate to have to find that part, but I really want to know if that's what he said, because now I'm seeing it is well known that gunshot wounding can produce fine droplets of blood spatter in a forward direction. Under certain circumstances, blood droplets can also be propelled backwards in a direction against the line of fire. Although the phenomenon of back spatter of blood is most commonly seen in contact gunshot wounds of the head, its occurrence is not well recognized. Well, hell, he wasn't shot in the head. Is the neck considered the head in that? Oh, damn, I'm gonna let it play some out because I don't want to start it over. I'm probably gonna have to listen again later. I don't know, because I really want to know if that's what he actually said. Did he say that way, or was I tripping?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And were you made aware that that is the results that were in this case?
Later on, yes.
And in terms of how does that help with a check and balance on your work?
So that confirms my analysis with the blowback, that the blowback came back, went, like I said, went up. It's going to fall here, and then it's going to continue to fall into this back seat.
All right, it's warming. Okay, hold on. I got to verify this real quick. So now he is talking about a projectile. Hold on, y'all. I got to see. Because my mind can't even focus on the rest until... Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. Y'all know how I am. Because I'll be like, I need to know. I need to get this under control now so that I can move forward. Because right now, my mind keep going back to like, did that dude really say the wrong thing in the beginning about blood? So give me a second. Hopefully this don't mess up my space. I could have just pull up his deposition.
Cars anywhere in it? Yes, so it was all treated. Reach out to obtain their report, send their photographs.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the physical evidence that you reviewed. Did you review the car?
Some people will use a protractor to do that. If you, I could probably show on my hand, if you touch and then let go.
2 shot.
For traffic crash.
Do you take a class in terms of
an MOU with them currently right now to investigate their homicides. We also will assist other agencies. Looking at in this photo, that is
Hold on, y'all.
in the county of Broward. I wasn't there. I wasn't there to witness it.
I went too far.
I wasn't there to stop it.
Man, shoot. Okay, that's why I'm over here trying to figure out what he said in the beginning.
And robberies with a crime scene and a victim. We also respond to shootings that happen.
All right, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta run that back because I'm like, okay, let me write down where I'm at so I can come back to this part.
Find a projectile. When I begin my reconstruction, my trajectory rod will generally lead me to a projectile. And when it does, then we come to a grinding halt, speed and post-crash speed. So a lot of times you'll see that you'll have a higher speed from the original and a lower speed from the original, and it throws people off sometimes.
So does this also help with the shooting reconstruction? You're using that same angle map?
Yes.
Have you taken classes in blood stain pattern analysis?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is first?
So blood is a
I'm sorry, y'all.
liquid.
I had to go back.
It contains, it's unlike any liquid on the planet, so it has unique features. When we will check for lividity, and a lot of times, if I'll be showing on my hand.
So it's right before lividity.
And it will make a stain. Or if you take one car is going 80 and the other car is going 40, what happens is due to physics and velocity, they end up switching speeds, and the 40-mile-an-hour car goes faster and the 80-mile-an-hour car goes slower. So those are part of approach angles, and that's how we would be able to determine pre-crash speed and post-crash speed. So a lot of times you'll see that you'll have a higher speed from the original and a lower speed from the original, and it throws people off sometimes.
So does this also help with the shooting reconstruction? You're using that same angle map?
Yes.
Have you taken classes in blood stain pattern analysis?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is first?
So blood is a unique liquid. It contains, it's unlike any liquid on the planet, so it has unique features when it is altered. So when it's outside of the body and contact is made with it, it will create a pattern. Or if you have, say, a knife and you stab it into somebody and you pull that knife out, the knife naturally will have blood on it, and that blood coming back on the knife, with the knife coming in the backwards position, will come off of the blade, and it will make a stain. Or if you take blood and hit it with a hammer, it will make a different type of stain. So there's several types of stains that are associated with blood stain, and those all need to be interpreted to determine exactly what happened, and in some cases it will tell you where the assailant was.
Okay. In terms of blood stain pattern analysis, how long was that class that you took?
40 hours.
Did they have a discussion about what is blowback?
Yes.
What is that?
So blowback is very simple. The easiest way that I can explain it is, and everybody in this courtroom, this has happened to them. You have your garden hose with the big nozzle on it, you're getting ready to wash the car, and you hit the rim, and what happens? The water comes right back at you and hits you in the face. The same thing would happen with blowback. So if you're in
I thought I was
close
right.
vicinity with a firearm and you shoot somebody, depending on where you shoot them at on their body, the blood will come back in that same direction of the velocity that it came from. So if it came from me to you, if the bullet went from me to you, the blood is going to come from you to me. Same thing as the garden hose theory.
Okay, so is it me, y'all? Did he just not say blowback? It's basically when the blood comes back out towards the shooter. Did y'all get that? I want to make sure I ain't tripping. I want to make sure I ain't bugging. Did he just explain blowback as being the water hose theory? Okay, big water hose. He said you hit a rim, it's gonna come back towards you, the water, and that's supposed to be the equivalent to blood in the theory. An example. Truth team, I need y'all to tell me. Did y'all just get that as his definition of blowback? Is the blood coming back towards where the shot? Let me listen a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure that's what he just said.
It's a phenomenon that happens. It's all with Newton. Newton figured it all out.
Yeah, he mixed them up. He's actually talking about back spatter of blood, which is a type of blowback. And they even said the phenomenon of back spatter. But what he was explaining at that point is the actual blowback from the projectile, which is what this is referring to. The projectile. Is that what y'all got from that? How didn't they catch that though? Because what he's saying about back spatter is definitely right. We looked it up ourselves. That's definitely right. But he's now saying blowback again though, and he's talking about the projectile. I would think if I was a defense attorney, that would confuse the jury because you're not even saying the correct reference. What it do, Cash Dog? Cash Dog, it will go forward and splash backwards from the target. Right. Back spatter, right? Yeah. He definitely, and again, if you don't know, like a jury, half of them ain't gonna know. You don't know. That shit, that will confuse hell. I done had to come at. We already look. What mark we at right now? Hold on.
Right. And
so this at the 50-second mark. We was all the way at the 2-hour mark. I done came back a whole hour and 10 minutes to verify what he said. So imagine the jury. But I'm gonna go ahead and speed up. So yeah, he definitely I mean, it don't seem like he did it on purpose, but he definitely was confused for sure. He mixed up the words. Or at least he didn't specify back spatter from blowback because it literally said, and let me hear it one more time. Because you already know I'm gonna make a video about this mess up, so I want to make sure I heard it correct.
And it will make a stain. Or if you take blood and hit it with a hammer, it will make a different type of stain. So there's several types of stains that are associated with blood stain, and those all need to be interpreted to determine exactly what happened. And in some cases, it can tell you where the assailant was.
Okay. In terms of blood stain pattern analysis, how long was that class that you took?
40 hours.
Did they have a discussion about what is blowback?
Yes.
What is that?
So blowback is the easiest way that I can explain it is, and everybody in this courtroom, this has happened to them. You have your garden hose with the big nozzle on it. You're ready to wash the car. And you hit the rim, and what happens? The water comes right back at you and hits you in the face. The same thing would happen with blowback. So if you're in close vicinity with a firearm and you shoot somebody, depending on where you shoot them at on their body, the blood will come back in that same direction of the velocity that it came from. So if it came from me to you, if the bullet went from me to you, the blood is going to come from you to me. Same thing as the garden hose theory.
All right, I just want to get the timestamps for that. Okay, Leanne, look, I was over here listening. I was over here scratching my head. That's all I mean. We went past it, but I gotta go back because I had to listen again. Because again, now this is the thing, and this is why I like to do Research Club live like this with all y'all. Because in reality, this is the jury room. The jury does this. They go and they talk amongst each other. They look at evidence and all that, and they come to that. Now, mind you, we over here for leisure, okay? Listening, whatever. I do this for real, and I got confused, okay? Because I told y'all, when it comes to that, I'm learning, okay? I'm just starting to take classes on this type of stuff because, again, I'm going to tell y'all something. I learned with this Melly case, another way for me to increase my brand, overall importance to what I do, to get some more certification. So that's why I started doing the classes. But anyway, you're supposed to teach the jury. All of them may not have no knowledge of none of this. The expert witnesses are teaching the jury so that they can understand what they're saying. We would have all fucking failed. We would have got that final test, which would have been the verdict. We would have all voted guilty based on the definition. And then our ass would have flunked come appeal time when they would have realized that this man just explains to the jury back spatter, but talking about actual blowback for the projectile. So this is why it's so important, right, to pay attention, and so important to, again, take notes. I tell y'all, although we just sitting here for leisure, I take notes. That's how I was able to remember, like, hold on, that's not what he said in the beginning. And the jury member is supposed to take notes too. Now, I ain't gonna say everybody really do take notes, but you should, because I was able to find out where we needed to be by my notes. But anyway, that's crazy. Do y'all think that matter though, that he mixed up the words? Y'all let me know, because I really don't know. I would actually have to verify that if that's like a big boo-boo or whatever. Like, I don't know how that would work. But personally, I don't think he did it on purpose. I really just think, you know what I'm saying? He was just confused. Probably all that coffee, because he was drinking coffee the whole time. Yeah, he's not a good teacher. Now, I would say like the coroner gave great examples, the words and all that, but yeah, mixing up again. Now, I will give him this. Back spatter is a type of blowback, but he never elaborates on the difference, and he goes straight in. This is why we were confused, because he went straight into talking about this projectile, which I'm about to get back into. Oh shit, what time is it? All right, let me get back into this, because I do want to leave something on y'all minds until the next time. Let me find a spot.
However, whenever you fire a gun, you have gunshot residue that's going to come out of the barrel and out of the ejection port. In this case, because of the position of Mr. Williams's head and the intermediate object of the headrest, The headrests assumed most of the GSR, the gunshot residue, and then only some of it went into Mr.
Hold on, pause. How can he talk about GSR? They never tested it for GSR. Let me put that. What's the timestamp for that? What is the defense doing? Just sitting there or something? Like, hold on, y'all. All right. And even the coroner said that in her testimony about the GSR on the headrest. Oh, the boosies. That's how I call my granddaughter the boosies. Because she bad as hell. All right, let me keep
Williams.
Without a pattern, can you give any sort of a range of distance?
No, I cannot.
So,
well, even he just said, and then he just said he can't give a range or distance. Now, mind you, maybe he was saying if tested, it would have shown that GSR was right there. But that's not what I heard when he said it. Maybe I'm tripping, but I ain't hear him saying it that way. He could have, and it would have sounded better by saying that because, like he said, he can't determine it because they never tested it. Now, I want to ask y'all this real quick. Do y'all find it weird that they paid all this money? Because I say all this money because he's an expert, he's a specialist. I doubt he's getting paid $20,000 a year to do a reconstruction instead of having the damn crime scene, people processing damn evidence at the crime, like testing the headrest and stuff. Y'all don't think that's weird? That's off? Let me know in the chat.
So look at ejection patterns for casings.
You can look at ejection patterns. I generally don't because it is a very strong variable.
Ah, shit. Hold on. I gotta go back again. I need this photo. I need this photo for my video. I was like, you know what? I might as well go ahead and grab it now so I don't have to come back looking for it. Get time marking there. All right, I got that. I'm gonna speed up just a little bit because I want to get to the point. So I got to get ready to get off of here. I want to get to when they actually start showing the pictures of people in the car.
Here.
That would be a photograph of the same positioning of the gun from the.
All right. Oh shit, y'all can't see. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna have to do this the quick way because my time is coming to an end and I really can't be late. Not on day one of pickup. All right, so I want to talk about something real quick. Well, not real. Well, yeah, real quick, but I asked y'all in the poll. I said, does a person have the same stance when holding a gun? And I hope I worded it right. What I meant was, do you believe that a person will hold a gun the same way? Like that person. Like when I go grab my gun, I'm going to hold it the same way? Or you think not? So that's really what I was saying. Hopefully I said that correctly for everybody, right? Now, of course, in his testimony, he has said he cannot give any certainty on how a firearm was held for this, right? However, in my opinion, it will be important how the person held the gun, because that will determine the whole measurements, right? You can't not measure something and then say you can't do certainty on the gun. So per the theory of the back passenger being the shooter, right? You would have to, whatever position you're holding the gun, you would need to determine that that arm width that you're holding it, right, should be the same arm length of the suspect, right? At least the one that's on trial. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I wanted to ask y'all that. So I'm gonna scroll through. So this is one photo, okay, of how they're saying the gun was being held. All right. Another photo of how the gun is being held. I don't have time to look through all, but I think I did save some of the pictures. Did I? Okay, yeah, I got the pictures. Okay. So now I want to ask y'all this. Looking at this picture, who do you think actually is going to sit like that to do a shooting? Anybody? Like, I'm being honest. I really want to know what y'all think. Anybody, do you think anybody will sit like that when doing a shooting? And again, they already clarified they can't be certain how it was held. I'm just asking. Does anybody think somebody's, because that look uncomfortable to me. My grandbaby only been here for 2 minutes and making noise, but it definitely look uncomfortable to me. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think somebody's going to sit like that to hold the gun? And the reason why I'm putting emphasis on this, because again, although how the gun is held cannot, she probably fell off of something, making all that noise. Although how the gun was held can't be determined, how you're positioning the stand-ins is helping you with your measurements. So it's very important. Now, another thing, if I was a prosecutor, right, I would have utilized somebody as close to the measurements of my suspect or my defendant as possible. Looking, again, I ain't never met Melly. I really don't know how tall he is for real. I don't even know how tall this person is, but looking at it, seemed like this person may be a little bigger than his structure or his, same thing with the other guy that's sitting on the other side in the victim seat. I just don't feel like the reenactment is accurate at all. And again, it don't have to be because it's a reasonable explanation, but it makes me think basically it's just why the defense didn't just paint a reconstruction of their own to make it make sense that it couldn't have been their client, right? Now, I'm about to play. I'm not gonna play all of it. A lot of y'all probably have saw it. Oh, this is another picture. Okay. A lot of y'all probably already saw it, but I'm going to play a particular part of it real quick. Where my timestamp? Okay. Hold on, yeah, I'm finding the part. All right. So for those who don't know, this is YNW Melly's interrogation from, I believe, like 2016, whenever the school shooting happened, right? I want y'all to pay attention to how he's about to be doing his hands in a minute, okay? Now, just follow me. We about to go down a rabbit hole real quick, but just follow me. So let me play that real quick.
You all right? You want something to drink or anything?
Yes, right.
I don't think I can get you a water. It'd be about the best you're going to get.
Yeah.
You want to drink Sprite?
Huh?
You want to drink Sprite? You don't want a water. They're on their way to go look for the gun right now. I hope it's by the crate where you said it is.
What if it ain't?
Then I'm probably going to come back and talk to you even more until you tell me where it finally is.
Y'all ain't gonna never, like, even if it's not there, then I can't help you.
If you told us the truth and you told us you put it there, it will be there. If you're lying to us and you never put it there, now that's a different scenario. Okay? This isn't going to go away.
It's coming in a minute. I think I went too far
I'm gonna spend the night here or something?
No, you ain't going to spend that long. You go to DYS in Fort Pierce. What I'm trying to tell you is we're going to keep talking to you until we finally figure out what's going on.
That's the only juvenile center?
Huh? So just relax. You sure you don't want water?
All right, pay attention. They should have known right there that boy had problems. All right, it's coming. He about to do his shooting stance in a minute.
Oh, they got a damn on the boy.
I gotta do better on my timestamps. All right, 1, 2, 3. He did 3 imitations of shooting. Did they look identical to y'all? I'm gonna go back just a minute because I really want to know what y'all think about this real quick. So I'm gonna go back just a little bit. I'm talking about back to back 3 identical hand gestures as he shoot, allegedly playing like he's shooting. Here you go.
Oh, they got a damn on the boy.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ain't even see the up to. He held his hand similar each time, in my opinion. So hold on. And again, I'm comparing this. Again, it's not identical. Like they said, it's not, they can't do with certainty. But I ain't seeing him holding no gun like that. For real. He just did it 5 times in the same stance. And then I got something else for you. Same stance. That is from damn, what's the name of the song? I probably should put the name of the song. Shit. It's on the tip of my tongue. What's the name of the damn song? It's a cover song or something. I can't think of it. But anyway, it's one of his songs. I think hold on, because it's throwing me off that I don't know what song it is. It was the one. Shit. That's what I get. I'll put it in the video. I don't remember. His mom is in the video. I remember that. Whatever song that is, I can't remember. Slaying that iron. Thank you. Because Because I was over here like, what's the name of it? So this is Slaying That Iron, all right? So then the next one, this is also from Slaying That Iron. Now, this is from the day of the murders, the video shoot that he went to. This is from the day of the murders. So my thing is, again, they was clear. They can't be for certain, right? However, I feel like they are utilizing these particular movements because it fits the calculations. I just don't see how for multiple years, to mind you, the first video, the interrogation was from 2016. That last picture I showed was from 2018, the day of the murders, and everything else is in between those days. He basically had the same stance when he shot. I don't see a person that used his other arm for one. He kept using his other arm for support, for one, right? For two, even if he wasn't using his arm anymore for support, I don't see him sitting like that to shoot. Just based off, again, his own videos that he got out. What y'all think? Because I'm just not, that's uncomfortable. I even sat in my car like that. That's uncomfortable. I just don't see, even if it was on a fly type moment, like shit happened, I just don't see sitting just like that. Now, mind you, what y'all may not notice, they actually got like a sticky note or something on the guy that's sitting in the victim's seat on his face to show where the bullet hole is. And again, they have the gun pointing to it. So although they're not saying for certain, that's not how he holds it or was holding it. That shows that, you know. Let me see. It's not possible. I tried it with my home where the position is not comfortable, just aiming like that on the twist. Right. That's why I said I did it myself. Like, really, I went outside, and y'all know I don't post guns, so I couldn't like post it. But yeah, I went outside in my car. I got an SUV, just like that. And I went outside in my car, and I told you I got a 40, and it wasn't right. It was, of course, I am not his size. I can get my daughter to do it. I think they may be close to this. But anyway, it's uncomfortable. Okay. And then I even went to, lie, me and Mr. Truth, because like I said, when I saw the car, I even like told him just to do something. Just do something, right? I'm sitting in the car now. I don't know when he gonna walk up or nothing. And I told him just to walk up randomly. And I sat in the car about 6 minutes. And then he finally walked up, but he walked up from another way, so he actually scared me for real. But anyway, and then I just grabbed my gun, okay? And I'm just like, I still didn't end up like that. I don't see how that's plausible. That photo could be to disprove Bort was a shooter. It could be. In the documentary, hold on. Melly acted like he was shooting while sitting down. It's not like that at all. Oh, really? So hold on. Let me go look at it real quick. And again, I don't know why the defense didn't look. Again, I get they're trying to say he's not there, but I mean, you still got to poke holes in it, regardless if you're saying you could say, well, he wasn't there. However, that makes no sense because you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they got to poke holes in it. I don't know what they got going on. But hold on. Let me try to find it real quick. I just want the picture of it. Hopefully I can find it without taking too long. But you know what though? Why I'm looking for? Oh, he did the same thing. The same. Hold on. Let me get this screen still of him doing. I mean, it's like again. I don't know how often. Well, let the internet tell it. He had a fetish for guns. It's like he's trained to hold it a certain way or do a certain thing. Like I don't see how you go from. I just don't see how it would be not with again. It's not about again. They said they can't confirm or make certain, but what I'm saying is those positions they're in is supposed to be showing why the numbers that they're putting up for this is plausible. And that's why I'm like, I don't think it's plausible, not for real, right? Thank you. 639. I think that is this. Hold on. Yeah, same. So that is the front. Okay. So what I just showed is like the frame from that. He held his damn hands the same way. Okay, hold on. Damn, it happened so quick. Trying to get that still. Hold on. Yeah, he uses his other hand. He holds allegedly, according to all this, right? He used both hands to hold the shoot. All right, hold on. Y'all might just have to just go watch it. But again, I don't see what is Gabrielle talking about. Hold on. They pinned to his phone to the location. This isn't not Melly, his first time in jail. It doesn't surprise me. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Mickey, when you done, can you say or sum up what buys me? Yeah, I got you. They also revealed he switched clothes. I mean, they had a witness say it. I mean, I don't know, Gabriella, or however you pronounce it. I mean, I don't get. We're talking about. Damn, I'm in the matrix. I think. Okay, y'all should be able to hear me clear now. But yeah, I don't really know, Gabriella, where you going with it. But listen, we're not even talking about clothing. We're not talking about no pins. Y'all got to pay attention to the topic of what we're talking about. This is one reason why y'all don't be understanding my point when I be trying to break stuff down, because y'all be all over the place. Y'all can't focus on one thing. So let me just go ahead and clarify to your point. Pinning his phone to the location, right, has nothing to do with him per se. Because again, you have to prove he was there. They definitely proved the phone was there, but they haven't proved he was there. Again, as far as the clothes, they do have a witness that stated at trial the first time that he had on like a tank top and basketball shorts. Okay, that can be considered switching clothes. However, do we know that wasn't already under his clothes he had on the night before? A lot of guys wear basketball shorts and boxers under their pants, stuff like that. The phone, well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna get too deep into the phone because, again, y'all, that's gonna be a whole nother video. However, we're talking about the actual crime scene reconstruction part with the shooting. Because again, having the phone doesn't prove he murdered nobody. I've been saying that the whole time. Some people don't hear it. The key point of this case right now is the witness, Detective Christopher Williams. He's a Reconstructionist. He's the one piecing it together to show this is, like he said, a reasonable explanation, right? So he's bringing to life the theory of the state. And this is why I say it's important to dissect it, because a lot of y'all, not just you, Gabrielle, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, the viewers, a lot of y'all take what he says and use it and mix it up with everything else to say, well, they confirmed this, they confirmed that, when he clearly said it's a reasonable explanation. Okay, so back to the point of showing the different ways he Gabriella, you about going time out. Said, I can't believe Twinkie Man is a witness, aka Robert Allen. Why you can't believe that? He was a whole he was the witness that sent his co-defendants to jail for life. Like, what you talking about? I know it's about time for me to get off of here. Okay, listen. So yeah, because it's already 6 o'clock. All right. Summary. Okay. I will do a shorter video. This was my research. We didn't finish, but I want to end with the stance of how he held his gun. I feel the defense should have definitely had their own reconstructionist, right, to debunk the state's reconstructionist. What we have pointed out while watching his testimony again, for one, he mixed up blowback and back spatter, for one. For two, although he said he could not for certain say how the firearm was held, I believe how he is reconstructing it for his measurements doesn't align with the actual defendant, because I showed 7 different frames from videos of YNW Melly, including one of the videos that actually showed at trial of how he holds his hands when he shoots. So, you know, I didn't even get into the other part. All right, so if you are on my Patreon, I'm going to upload this in a minute before I get up out of here. Freak. I was trying to do this today, but I'm not going to have time. Because I had one to go over. Hold on. Look, time goes so fast when you're having fun, but I got to go to this pickup location. Let me see. I'm going to upload this in a minute on my Patreon. I just wanted some key points. All right. So, like, the defense filed a motion that the detectives' work and opinions are but a transparent effort to improperly bolster the state's theory of the case with quack opinions that falsely carry the weight of learnedness and expertise. And we have definitely just put that to the test. But I'm going to go ahead and upload that on Patreon. I will have more content. I just got to go right now. Okay. I appreciate everybody for rocking out. Make sure you donate to the cause. My virtual food drive in honor of Young Dolph and Dolph Day this Friday. I will be taking donations all the way up until 2 p.m. on Friday when we submit the donations. $1 can do 4 meals. Okay. With that being said, y'all have a good evening. I will be back at it tomorrow. I'll probably go live so we can finish off the conversation. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl Mickey Truth, and holla.